the voice of the beat. You know what I won't blaze up. Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy, for your boy, for your boy, for your boy. Also for your boy, mix it for your boy. Drop it for your, wow, 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 lift it up.
Hello. Happy Friday. Hey, how y'all doing? Let me scoot up a little bit. Y'all get up in here. Get up in here. You guys get the likes up on the video, girl. It is Friday, honey. Shout out to everybody in the building, you guys. Happy Educational Friday. I will let you guys know that today is Educational Friday. We will be doing Educational Friday this evening, and we will be speaking this evening on Mound Bayou, which is where the character Smoke and Stack's father is from. And we will also be discussing Sinners this evening. So make sure y'all pull up, bro. 5 o'clock at on this channel. We will be discussing some myths, some miscommunications. Some people are reviewing the movies who aren't FBA, who have different perspectives, and I understand why their perspectives are those, and even some of us, because we're uneducated. And when I say that, I don't mean through school, I mean as far as the truth. So we're gonna discuss a few of that this evening, 5 o'clock. Make sure y'all pull up, pull over, and pop out. We're gonna discuss Sinners and Mound Bayou, because this in that Delta, Mississippi, that's where the blues is supposed to be from. But that Delta, Mississippi plays a huge part in anything we know as music today. Don't get me wrong, jazz was one of the first formal musics, but that blues took it to a whole nother level, okay? And it was a lot of things attached to it that we're gonna get into it. Some of the character breakdowns, we're gonna get into it, all that. Y'all make sure y'all pull up. Voodoo Doll Podcast at gmail.com is my email, Mrs. A. Voodoo Doll Podcast, and I love that photo. I see what you did there with the photo, because remember I told y'all, hold on, I think I still got it on here. I see what you did there. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Yes, I do. That's dope. I like that. Shout out to Mrs. A. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. Voodoo Doll Podcast at gmail.com. Voodoo Doll Podcast at gmail.com. Ain't it scary? Girl, it knocked me off my feet, girl, when I seen what I seen, girl. Knock me smooth off my feet. So yeah, y'all pull up this evening. Somebody else had a question for Educational Friday. If you haven't seen the movie, don't come on the show for today, because we're gonna have some spoilers. Somebody else asked me something. Oh, this is what I want to highlight. Sharjay says Mound Bayou is my dad's homeland. That, listen, when it comes down to genealogy and lineage and roots, if you can trace your roots, especially back to the Delta, Mississippi, you're 99.9. I don't know nothing about your genealogy. You're probably indigenous. There's probably not an Amri bit of Africa nowhere near or around you. I'm going to be completely honest. Because one thing about that Delta, Mississippi, that was one of the places that didn't get infiltrated by a bunch of the others as much as other places. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, if your family could trace back to the Delta, to Mound Bayou, you're probably indigenous. I'm gonna just go out on a limb. I don't like telling people what they is, but if you've done your genealogy, then you know I'm not lying. Right, Dina. She says, I don't like horror at all. This didn't give me horror vibes at all, because it's, and you know what? That's why I love the movie, because it transcends the stereotypes. You feel what I'm saying? It transcends, but we'll get into it this evening. Make sure y'all pull up. And speaking of, today we will be discussing how the Latinos are mad because they don't have representation in the doggone film. Let me say this. People let the Asian representation and hell, even the $5 footlong representation go over y'all head when it came to this movie. The Asians, yes, very, very, very few Asians were in the Delta, Mississippi at that time. But what most people don't understand about the Asians was, just like today, they were never there to be your friend. Never. The Asians was there to start siphoning your economics outside of your neighborhoods. The Asians were the first groups, one of the first groups they put inside of the black neighborhood to start taking your money outside of each other. So let's really be clear about that. Even with the $5 footlongs, it makes sense that they were Choctaw, because Choctaw is one of the 5 civilized tribes, and we all know that they use those folks to be the figurehead, not the figurehead, the face of the Native American. Please be advised, the Native American and the Indian are 2 different people. The Native American and the Indian or Indian are 2 different people. The $5 footlong look like a Mexican. The Indian or the Indian looks like me and you. Let's really be clear about that. And it's a lot of stuff going on around there. We'll get into it. Y'all make sure y'all pull up this evening. And then also when it pertains to the Latinos hollering about they don't have representation in the movie, it's because you don't belong. And we're going to get into that. Also, let's really talk about it. Even their own history does not encompass them. Latinos, I'm talking about the clear ones, the milk ones. I'm talking to y'all. Even your own ancient history ain't about you. It's about people who look like me, who lived in those regions. I don't need, here we go with the Latinos. And this, like I said before, one thing I loved about the music scene was that it literally encompassed and showed you where the root of all this music comes from. And it comes from Black Americans in the South, Delta blues, jazz, all of that other stuff comes out of that. It's not the other, we ain't copying off of each other. No. It's coming out of that, out of us. Okay. But Latinos, y'all were nowhere represented there because you weren't there. And as quiet as it's kept, and I don't want to get too much on it because we're going to talk about it, but as quiet as it's kept to the Latinos, let's really talk about it, especially my ones in New York. Y'all know when they sent y'all to America and lied to your parents and grandparents and told y'all that y'all was going to have a new life in a new world, that they put y'all in the middle of the projects with the Negroes. And y'all do recall that your family ancestors, your granny, your abuelitas and abuelas and all that stuff went down and fought to be status of white. FBA don't have no allies. Let's really be clear, but we're going to get into that. So we got that to talk about. Hold on. What else we got to talk about? And then also to the Latinos, when you start showing me the real Latinos, when you Puerto Rico, when you start showing me the Black Puerto Ricans, Mexico, when you start showing me the Black Mexicans, Cuba, when you start showing me the Black Cubans, Brazil, when you start showing me the Black Brazilians, all of to the Latino people, when you start showing me the indigenous people, the Black people of your region, then we'll start talking about representation. Because please, this is not the tree you want to bark up. And this is not to all Latinos. I'm talking about the ones who over here crying and acting a fool on TikTok. When you start to show us the indigenous people that y'all pushed over to the corner where nobody can see, when you start showing us those people, and then we start to have the conversation about who you are, then we'll have the conversation. Please, not just them to the $5 footlongs. Talking about they wanted more representation. I'm tired of all of y'all. In Black America, don't let this go over your head. This is what happened when you continuously invite everybody to the cookout. They start acting like they own the cookout. And a lot of you Negroes is still on the internet inviting other folks to the cookout. I'm of the belief that when it all goes down, I don't know if I'll be here, but if it all goes down and we got to pick a side, I feel like the Negroes who's picking the side of everybody else can go with everybody else. You just as much of a detriment and a danger to us trying to get our stuff together as them. I don't trust you just as much as I don't trust them. So keep on with the tickets, giving out the tickets to the cookout. I ain't mad at you, but I'm telling you now, it's going to come a point where you're going to have to choose a side. And if you choose that side, that's fine, but you have to stay over there. We'll get into it. We also got to talk about Shannon Sharpe's ex-assistant, Hollywood. Has it came out and had a few things to say? We're going to get into that. Kanye was exposed for pimping out his wife. Basically, if y'all was on my Rumble game, we getting it back together. Please give me some time. But if y'all was on my Rumble game, remember I told y'all Marvin Gaye was out here pimping out his wife too. He married a young girl just to pimp her out. And it seems to be that the new rumor is Kanye was doing the same thing with his wife, which makes sense. Antonio Brown is beefing with Shedeur and Dion. Girl, we got to get into it. Antonio Brown, somebody told Antonio Brown, hey, keep the Sanders name, Dion and Shedeur, keep all of their names out of your mouth, or it's up when I see you. And girl, AB told the boy, tell Dion, get up on the good foot. We gonna get into it. Turkey leg hunt. Who in Houston? What's going on at the turkey leg hunt? Now, I ain't gonna lie. I heard about the turkey leg hunt, and I always wanted to go over there and give me a big-ass turkey leg, but I ain't never make it round there. But I know that the owners had a bunch of drama. They said they was over there telling the girls they can't twerk over the waffles, but I'm hearing they around here selling nickel bags out the back door. And they allegedly setting people businesses and all of that on fire. What's going on? We gonna get into it. And then we also got to get into Cam speaking about how the NFL does these extensive background checks like the FBI and a few other things. But you guys, get the likes up on the video, please. And thank you. I'm going to give you guys a brief intermission, but this is a praise intermission that I want to give to you guys because I think that a lot of you sinners, since we on the subject, a lot of y'all are sinners, not me though. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like at the end of the day, y'all need praise. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a praise break because I don't need it, just y'all. But I'm going to give you guys a praise break to hit the likes up on the video, you guys. Make sure you do that. Like the video, please, and thank you. And then we're going to get right on into the show, y'all. Get the likes up on the video.
"'Twas grace that taught my heart to beat, and grace that fear relieved. How precious is that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, sing it again, say Amazing Grace.
All right, I can't do it again now. Nah, all right now, hold on. I can't do it again. Okay. I hope this helped y'all like the video. I hope it touched your hearts to help you guys see that y'all need to like the video. Let me also say this. I seen a lot of people in the comments on that video talking about how, oh, Donald Trump didn't touch the Bible, and oh, he didn't put his hand over his heart, and oh. And you know what it made me think about? And you Negroes haven't caught on to it yet. Think about the movie Sinners really quickly. Just think about the movie Sinners really quickly. In the movie Sinners, when I can't remember who it was, started to quote the Bible, Remington, the clear Irish guy, he started to then quote the Bible verse along with whoever it was. Put it in the chat if y'all remember what I'm talking about. And it was in that moment, it was a lot of sub messages that I caught. Sammy was doing the prayer. Yes, thank you, Clarissa. Sammy was doing the prayer, and the Irish dude started singing the prayer with him. Now, another thing that they tried to use was a cross to get these vampires off of them, and Remington was just spitting that like, girl, and what? And what? This is the thing that I need you guys to understand, especially when it pertains to stuff like y'all seeing as tradition now. This has not always been your tradition, number one. So him not putting the hand to the Bible and all this other stuff, that's one thing. But what y'all have to understand is them folks came over here and gave you what you know as religion. Of course they know the Bible. They gave it to you. They're the reason why you know the Bible. They're the reason why you know the Bible as it is. They are the reason why you know God in the way in which you know them. Don't let that go over your head. A lot of people don't understand that just maybe, or just think about it. Just think about it for a split second. And I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers, because I remember when Trump held the Bible upside down and people was freaking out. I remember he didn't do traditions with this. I remember all these, and it brings me back to the movie. And I can't help but think to myself, is the reason why they don't do the stuff that we do is because they know it's all cap? I mean, they gave it to us. They gave it to us in the way in which we know it. Now, I'm not saying that the Bible is false. That's not what I'm saying. The Bible that we know, the translation, the remixed one, they gave it to us. What if, just what if, and I kind of have evidence to back this up, but what if the reason they don't take Christianity seriously the way that the regular average Americans do, especially Black Americans, is because they know that they gave you a bunch of hogwash. Just what if? So when I be seeing these big politicians and these big people that ain't following so-called Christian traditions, and I'm watching the regular Christians get all freaked out, and I'm sitting here saying, probably because they know they don't have to. You the one don't know you don't have to. Just out of curiosity. But yeah, I didn't want to play that. I hope you guys like the video, please. Yeah, just like the video. All right, really quickly, let's get into some honorable mentions. Tina Knowles did a genealogy. I don't know why she gave us this genealogy, but I told y'all she's more clear than anything. But even through her genealogy, we're going to go right through it really quickly. Now, this is Beyonce Mom, okay? Now, according to her, this is her family tree. Let's get into it. This is genealogy, y'all, for everybody who need to know. Now, this is her great-grandmother, Celeste Josephine Lacey. Now, Celeste looks Indian. I ain't gonna lie. She looks like an Indian. She may have a bit of clear in her, but for the most part, she looks like an Indian, okay? Celeste, with the name that she has, Josephine Lacey, is giving Celestine, I'm sorry, is her name, It's giving French inspired, which would kind of lean into the whole Creole bit and things of that nature. But ultimately, she could have married into that name because she looks Indian to me. Now, this is her great grandmother, right? Let's move on to her paternal grandparents, meaning her father. Both of these folks are clear. Okay? Both of these folks are clear. Okay? So, from what we know so far, I don't know if this is her father's parents or her grandfather's parents on her father's side. Either way, that's a whole side of clears, okay? So we got one Indian possibly married to a French clear or maybe even a French black, but also definitely a bunch of clears on the daddy side. Now, moving forward, her maternal grandmother is this person. So if we are to believe that her great grandmother was this person and her daughter came out looking like this, she's probably a product of biracialness, okay? Because we're going to break down who's black and who's not, because that part went over a lot of people's head in this doggone show as well. Y'all want to make any and everybody black, and I hate it for y'all. So let's move along. So here's her maternal grandmother, which is her great-grandmother's child, Odelia Broussard. And then this is her maternal grandfather, and that seems definitely to be a clear man, and he's weird-looking, too. He looked like a cousin bumper. You feel what I'm saying? No shade. I got to say that part. But this is her maternal grandmother and grandfather. So this biracial looked like she married a clear. Abraham Lincoln looking ass nigga. You feel what I'm saying? And now this is her mama, which would make sense. Why she looks, light-skinned. And this is her daddy. That is definitely a clear man. Oh, Tina Knowles is an octoroon at best. At best. Which would make sense why she can have a baby with her husband, with Tina's daddy, and with Beyonce's daddy, and Beyonce and them have a little more hue to them. But this right here is your genealogy, people. Now, this only goes back 3 generations. However, this is an example of genealogy. You don't have to know 10 years or 10 generations back. You can go with what you know, okay? Now, according to Tina, this her mom and her daddy, or whatever the case may be. That's the daddy, definitely a clear man, maybe an octoroon at best, but for sure he's clear. Okay, and this is another thing I want to bring out. People were talking about the spelling because, okay, his name is Loomis Beyonce, and obviously Tina named Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? This is her brother, her siblings, whoop-de-whoop, you know what I'm saying? And this is her sisters. And then this is Celestine and Beyonce, aka Tina Knowles. Let's get into because this is one thing you're going to run into with your genealogy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is another thing. There will be the same name spelled 10 different ways. And let me tell you why that happened. Let me tell you why this happened. When they instituted education, as far as people having to go to school, first of all, at first you didn't have to go. Secondly, the ones who did decide to get educated got educated. Most people in the South worked in the fields, baby. They didn't have time to go down to no schoolhouse. That's why a lot of your great grandfathers dropped out in the 3rd grade, the 2nd grade. One of them didn't even go to school, yet they could build houses, open businesses, because school wasn't their thing. So when it came down for documentation to have to spell your last name, you can take a name like Beyonce. Let's get it back on here. You can take a name like Beyonce. Let me get it back on here. Buyince. And if she went down to any type of records keeper or any type of anybody who's going to write her name down, and all she would do is pronounce it. The person on the other side would write it down. You don't know how to spell it because you ain't never went to no damn school. So the person on the other side would assume and guesstimate, okay, that's what it is. So you may have, I'll use a name in my family, Fleming. And when I did my genealogy, there's a lot of Flemings. Is it Fleming? It's something like that. But it's a Fleming. It's spelled with the E. There's a Fleming spelled with the I. There's a Fleming. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't because we, just was running around willy-nilly respelling our names. It's because back when they were doing data and documentation, most of our ancestors didn't go to school, so they couldn't spell it. So they had to just pronounce it, and whoever took down the information, they took it down and wrote it how they felt. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you wonder why these different last names, that does not mean y'all not related. Yes, if a Fleming was married with the E was married to a Fleming with the I, they were probably cousins. And let me tell you something. When you start doing your genealogy, the things you're going to find. I'm just saying. And when I say cousin, I don't mean like first cousin. It could have been, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot of people in the town and you married a third or fourth cousin, or maybe they didn't even know. Who knows? But I'm just saying you're going to find some weird stuff. Okay? You're going to find some weird stuff. But yes, I like what Mo says. My family is Bryce, but it's now Bryce. That's what I'm saying. It's just a matter of documentation. But these are the same people. So that's what I want to bring out with Newsom and Newsom. Yep. A lot of y'all have this in y'all family. I have it in mine. You see what I'm saying? So don't charge this as, oh, that's not family. 9 times out of 10, that is still your family. It just was a different spelling. The only reason I could have been able to pinpoint that is because when I do my genealogy on my mother's side, I told you we have a graveyard, a family graveyard that goes back to the early 1700s. I can go to my people and touch them. So I was looking at the different names and talking to my great aunts and my cousins and all them, and they were telling me, no, it was the same people. They just spelt it differently. Okay, so just keep that in mind, you guys. But I was saying all that to say the reason why that lady's turning into a clear, Tina, the witch, is because she is a clear. And that talks about the Octoroon Mary in the doggone show. She was the one who came back in and infiltrated everybody. Why? Because she went out there thinking she can use her white passiveness to get her in front of those doggone whatchamacallums, and it worked. But it worked to her detriment because they ended up biting her. Now, speaking of Tina, she done came on here. Beyonce done had her, Blue, Yellow, and Tina on stage. Hold on.
Today is a big day because my mother, who worked so hard on her book, she has the #1 book on the New York Times. Everybody, please say, congratulations, Mama T. 1, 2, 3.
Curiosity, do you guys think the reason that Beyonce is showing Rumi, is that her name? Rumi, even more is because of the comments that Kanye West said? I was just looking at it and thinking about that because prior to that, we've seen peaks of Rumi, but not much. But it seemed like soon as Kanye came out and said what he said, we see a bit more of Rumi, which I'm not mad at. She's a beautiful little girl. You feel what I'm saying? But it seemed like Beyonce trying to show, you know what I mean? Like, no, don't play with mine. You feel what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. She brought her mammy out on the stage. She sold the book that none of us bought. And she's over there to celebrate her mammy. And I will never understand how Black Americans worship these people. I will never understand it. The people who worship these, I just, honestly, I feel bad for people who worship celebrities. I really do. I really do. I feel bad. I do, because it's got to be a level of not knowing. I don't want to even call it ignorance. I just want to say not knowing. But I just feel bad for people like that. But I don't give a damn about Beyonce, her mom. I ain't gonna say nothing about the kids, but I definitely don't give a damn about that moose knuckle she laid next to. I don't give a good goddamn about none of these folks. Okay. But it was good to see Rumi, is that her name? Let's just call her Yellow, because that's what I call her. It's good to see Yellow on stage with her mama and her grandmammy. with Blue and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I guess. But I don't know why Tina gave us her genealogy, because she's got more clear in her than anything, which would make sense. But neither here nor there, child. Just wanted to throw that out there. Let's move on. Oh, I know what I wanted to show y'all. So y'all know Jag done got sued by Brian McKnight. Bald head Jag done responded, girl. Hold on, let's get Jag on here. Jag had to respond to what the people was around here saying. And this is what bald head Jagger had to say. Let me get her on here. Hold on, where's she at? Jag, where you at? I think this her right here. Yeah, here she go. Look what Jag had to say in response to y'all dragging her for getting sued. And she had something to say about Brian McKnight too. Look.
McKnight is suing Jaguar, right? And Javon Pierce's name was mentioned. You want to know what's funny? The simple fact that he could sit there and go back all of this time. Wow. Oh, no. Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be a countersuit. Definitely. But the thing is, all this time, this information been out there. And you ain't had no problem with it until you started having a hard time selling records and women started booing you.
But what do I gotta do? What the fuck do I gotta do with it?
I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, this is 7-Day Adventist on 7-Day Adventist crime.
Well,
then what the Lord say? Lil Brian, Lil Goofy McKnight. The Lord said, turn the other cheek. And McKnight is suing. It ain't been that long since you've been to Sabbath school, has it?
It is.
All of those boring weekends at Oakwood.
It is different for me, because you know me. You know what I went through and trying to get my life and my career back together. And now
it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And
yeah.
Guess what? It's far from over, and it's just going to start. And you don't need any of these weirdos. You know what I predict?
Mm-hmm.
I predict that this name, you being in this lawsuit with me in it, I think that might be a ticket for you. Like, honestly, if I were you, I'd be writing a comedy set about this.
Oh,
and slamming with it.
So there was Jagular responding to the lawsuit by Brian McKnight. Now, I did watch I didn't watch it all, but I watched up to half of Tasha K's interview with Brian McKnight's ex-wife. And from the first half, I didn't hear her mention Jag. Remember, Jag was alleging that she is related to his ex-wife. But what I did hear from Brian McKnight's ex-wife, he ain't worth 2 dimes. And I didn't know all them kids wasn't hers. Ooh, girl, y'all got to go check out that interview on Tasha K channel. Y'all have to go check out that interview on Tasha K channel. It was a time. Love 55 or 5555. I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat. What do you think about Black Americans from San Antonio, Texas? Genealogy is from. Do you think we Indians too? Yes. Especially from Texas. A lot of you guys out of Texas, a lot of the Black Americans out of Texas have really great migration stories. Not these whack migration stories that the KKK pushed us out and they call it a great migration. But a lot of those Texas Indians come from regions in Texas, Louisiana, Mexico, Mississippi. It was a lot of back and forth in those regions. As a matter of fact, when I did my genealogy, this is just me. When I did my genealogy, my roots go back to Mississippi. However, there's a story of my my third great grandfather running away from Mississippi back to Texas. This is how I found out my tribe really originated in Mexico. There was a story of him running away as an 11-year-old boy with 2 grown men to escape the slavery in Mississippi. And he went to Texas. He came back as an adult and had 2 kids. that commemorated the name of his tribe. One was India and one was Suma, okay? Because that's the Suma tribe. When I looked up the Suma tribe, its origins start in Mexico. Mind you, don't think of Mexico as you see it today. Think of Mexico as one big landmass on Turtle Island. Canada, New York, you feel what I'm saying? Mexico, Texas, California, same stuff, different toilets. So yes, San Antonio, Texas Injuns. Yes, you are definitely probably indigenous, but you'd have to do your genealogy. But yeah, you definitely have roots in not only Texas, but you probably, once you do your genealogy, you'll see if some people coming from other places as well. Including Mexico, probably more than a lot of us. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that I'm glad you asked that. Y'all get the likes up on the video. Get into that genealogy, bro. Renee, thank you for the super chat. Boo, as soon as I saw the dance scene, I thought of your intro. Did you see the guy in the intro? Let's really be clear about this. In that dance scene, I'm glad you brought this up. In that dance scene, there's this guy dancing in the video, and this is how I knew that Ryan Coogler is much more intelligent than he's leading off to be in this film. This guy in my intro is dancing in that dance scene in Sinners. Check him out. This guy right here.
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go.
The one with the costume.
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go. It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat. You know what I want? Blaze up. Come on, Blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 wow.
Mr. Carroll.
My bad. Let's really be clear about this. I did the research on that guy and that costume and that lineage. That comes from a young girl leaving Africa and coming to New Orleans, not the other way around. So when I saw that in Ryan Coogler's scene where he spoke about how, you know what, not really spoke about, but when everything started out of the blues and then it branched off into other things, and then I saw that character, I knew right then and there that what Ryan Coogler was saying was that not that we got anything from the Irish, not that we got anything from the Native American or any of those other folks. It seems to me like what he's saying is quite the opposite. It all comes from the blues. It all comes from Black America. You see what I'm saying? That's what I got from it, because I know for a fact that dance that I just showed y'all did not come from Africa. That came from New Orleans, not the other way around. But yeah, he's definitely in that show. Yes, it is still pointing us towards Africa. I hate that, but I think that when you working with them folks and you in their lane, it's certain things you're not going to be able to get away from. You see what I'm saying? And I think that he had to put that in there and make the other messages so subtle that it's not so, you know, out there and in your face. Mello C, thank you for the super chat. Hey Bookie, thank you for showing up for us and our messy asses. Honey, yes, I'm just as messy. That's why I'm here, honey. Yes. Y'all get the likes up on the video, but I just want to show y'all Jag tripping. Yeah, he did claim FBA, and I love that for Ryan Coogler, because for now, and this is what we're going to see when we get into this next, not the next one, but into the one of these topics. Since we started centering ourselves and bigging up ourselves, a lot of people around us have had a lot of issues with it, and we don't care. And I need everybody in this chat and moving around, and it's going to see on the replay game. I need you to not care neither. Let them throw their temper tantrums and have a fit and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. We don't care. For ages, we celebrated everybody and watched everybody else celebrate themselves. And we sat there being told we don't have no culture. We sat there told that we come from Africa. We don't have no tribal languages. We don't have nothing. Now that the veil has been lifted, and we are seeing and showing to the rest of the world, hold on, fact. Not only do we have culture, if it were not for us, you wouldn't have the culture you have. Now we got a lot of people throwing temper tantrums, screaming and hollering, oh my God, you didn't add the Native Americans. You didn't add the Hispanics, because you don't belong. Because you don't. And I need every one of y'all to not give any F's the same way that I don't, because I don't. And nobody's going to guilt me into feeling some type of way about it. Play with your mom. Don't play with me. Anyways, we'll get into it. Let's move to, I don't even want to talk about this. Who cares? Let's get into who we going to go with first. Let's get to the turkey leg hut. Girl, what's going on at the turkey leg hut? Now I heard they got good turkey legs. But apparently, I remember I heard one story back in the Gap where the wife and the husband got into it or they was getting divorced. Who from Houston? What then happened? They say the turkey leg hut had the best food. Now they say they didn't allow twerking over their pancakes, but it didn't matter because other than that, the turkey leg hut had some real good food. And then the unthinkable happens. Now the FBI is around here investigating the turkey leg hut. What is going on? Now I heard they was out the back selling nickel bags and putting turkey leg hut baggages on the nickel bags. Is this true? So you mean to tell me I can go in there, buy a nickel bag of that ganja and then come back for a turkey leg? Niggas. Hey, I ain't mad at the hustle. I'm really mad they got caught. But you niggas was out in the bag selling nickel bags. Girl, you can't make this up. Let's get into it. It says turkey leg hut sold marijuana using branded with restaurant logo, FBI says. So according to the FBI, not only was the niggas selling nickel bags, they put it in bags that say turkey leg hut. You can't make this up. What is going on, black people? Let me see if I can get an article on this because I want more detail. Turkey leg, hut, marijuana. If y'all ever get confused on how to spell it, just pronounce it like that, marijuana. Okay? All right. So according to this article, girl, what is going on? According to this article, it says, where are we at? Turkey Leg Hut. Before it closed last year, the Turkey Leg Hut was famous for its oversized smothered turkey drumsticks and for the crowds and celebrities to its Third Ward location. But amid new criminal charges against one of the restaurant's co-owners, federal authorities say they believe more than just meat was being sold out of the Alameda Road Eatery. An FBI agent testified Thursday that the restaurant was also used to store and sell large amounts of marijuana, where at least they wasn't selling nickel bags, huh? It goes on to say on Thursday, lawyers representing former Turkey Leg Hut owner Lynn Price and the Justice Department argued over whether he could be released on bond until his criminal trial. It also says, as part of the detention hearing, FBI Special Agent Deborah Klein testified about evidence collected by investigators during the course of the agency's year-long investigation into an arson at Bar 5015. Lynn Price is accused of hiring 4 men to set the bar on fire, which is owned by his former business partner. The hearing revealed new details about the alleged arson, but also allowed prosecutors to air out other allegations in an attempt to sway a magistrate judge to keep Price behind bars. One of the allegations that Price had California-grown marijuana bought to Houston and then sold it out of the Turkey Leg Hut and the Daiquiri Hut, another now closed establishment at the same address. Klein testifies that the information about the drug sales came from John Lee Price, one of the other men charged in the Bar 5015 arson. John Lee Price allegedly told FBI agents that he worked for Lynn Price and that one of his jobs was moving marijuana from California to Houston. Oh my God. John Lee admitted to transported hydroponic marijuana. What is that? Hydroponic. Hydro? Is that dro? What's hydroponic marijuana? Who on here smoked that Zaza? Is that dro? I ain't heard about dro shit since the early 2000s. I remember we was just around there smoking Reggie Bush. You know what I'm saying? And somebody had hit me to the first time talking about I got some dro. I said, you got what? And they was like, dro. I said, what's dro? They was like, once you hit this, you ain't gonna want that Reggie Bush no more. And I was like, man, you tripping. I ain't gonna lie. I hit it, and it's not that I never hit the Reggie Bush no more, because sometimes the pocketbook determined how I was going to smoke. This is back when I used to smoke. You feel what I'm saying? But once I hit that dro, oh, girl. So that's what it is. Hydroponic. Is that what you call it? I love that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I should have got me a little something. Let's move on. I'm sorry. It says, as much as 1,000 pounds of marijuana was stored at the restaurant, she said. The restaurant was protected by security guards 24/7, which was part of the reason the drugs were kept there, Klein said. I don't know if I'd have had it stashed at my restaurant, though. It says, Klein said the weed was sold out of the restaurant in bags branded with Turkey Leg Hut logo. During cross-examination, Klein said there was no evidence that Lynn Price was directly involved in hand-to-hand drug sales at the restaurant. Prosecutors, however, referred to Lynn Price as an orchestrator and a person who tries to keep his hands clean. Neither Lynn Price or any other men have been charged with drug-related crimes connected to Turkey Leg Hut. John Lee Price in 2023 was indicted on federal drug charges in Mississippi after he was stopped while towing a horse trailer carrying 26 pounds of fentanyl laced pills. These niggas trapping out the Turkey Leg Hut. Following Thursday's hearing, Lynn Price's attorney declined to directly address the drug allegations. A lot of things were brought up that we didn't necessarily agree with, said Chuck African, one of the Price attorney's defense attorneys. Oh, hell no. Turkey Leg Hut. You niggas was selling marijuana and pills? Can I just say this? Black people, I get it. We watch Power. We watch all these TV shows, and y'all be seeing them trapping out their businesses, and it works. But that's on TV. And it works for the clears a lot of times, the rich ones, not the poor ones. It just don't always work for the Negroes. And y'all got to understand that. I would have never had my doggone restaurant with no marijuana in the back of the doggone restaurant. Hell, 24/7 security is the dead giveaway that y'all got something crazy going on in there. Now you done probably sold to an undercover agent. You see, yeah, Simeon, turkey leg trap house is what it is. It's a turkey leg trap house. You thinking I'm just a regular patron going in there to get me a little turkey leg and a little side of mashed potatoes or something, and this nigga's in the bike scoring. I feel like they should have kept the drugs away from the restaurant. I think that would have been the more smarter thing to do, in my opinion, simply because there's too much traffic in and out of the restaurant. That's too high risk, in my opinion. I'm not saying you can't trap out of there, which I don't agree to. But if you're going to trap out of there, okay. But stashing the drugs there, I don't think that was smart. But let me ask y'all something. Who done had a turkey leg down there? Is it really good? They might have been sprinkling marijuana and fentanyl on the turkey legs. Girl, no wonder y'all couldn't stay up out of there. I'm just saying, turkey leg people, they say y'all had some good turkey legs, and I'm so sad I wasn't. BC said it's good as F. There you go. BC, one thing about the people, they're going to tell us the truth. You feel what I'm saying? And my girl BC said, well, let me find your comment. It's good as F. There you go. Fentanyl all over it. They probably put it in the batter. Look at niggas eat. Ooh, this is good. I mean, hell, they putting crack in Popeyes. Why not put sprinkle a little razzle dazzle over the turkey legs? Allegedly. You feel what I'm saying? But anyways, Candy said it was so good and the lobster mac was what, girl? What happened? Candy said it was so good and the lobster mac was fire as F. There you go. I ain't gonna lie. I might risk my life to go get me a little turkey leg. Is they open? They closed? Since the FBI on their trail? Child. Right. Human flesh at McDonald's. Child. But anyway, shout out to the turkey leg people. I think that they should. Oh yeah. Oh, Thule said not Popeyes. Yes. Absolutely. You want to know the moment I knew Popeyes was sprinkling crack on that chicken? Hold on. I'm about to show y'all right quick. And I watched real good. And I said, oh yeah, I don't know what they got on that. But whatever it is, it's got them Negroes in the chokehold. Hold on, let me show you. Hold on. Y'all remember this? Put a 1 in the chat if you was here for this. Put a 1 in the chat if you was here for this. I'm trying to see something. Put a 1 in the chat if you was here for this. You know, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't start coming into some sort of awakening until around this era. You see what I'm saying? The corona issue and, you know, whoop de whoop. You feel what I'm saying? And I can recall being fresh coming into this type of mindset, looking at these folks down to the Popeyes in lines around the corner, fighting each other. Some people even got popped behind that chicken sandwich. And I kept saying, they had to put something in that sandwich. There's no way. They had to do something to or put something on that sandwich that got people really ready to crash out, go to jail, and die for it. And then a movie came along later on that was called They Cloned Tyrone. And in said movie, they spoke about how they used the chicken to poison the people and to keep them under mind control. And immediately I went back to Popeyes and I said, there you go. Now, one thing the powers that be know, Black Americans love them a good piece of fried chicken. It just is what it is. And they took something that we love, and that's a major tradition amongst all of us. I don't care if you're up north Black American or down south Black American, East Coast, West Coast, we all frying chicken. And I think they took that and said, this is going to be a good way to infiltrate or to even get in and mess some stuff up around there because everybody eating fried chicken. So yeah, when I saw this, I said, there you go. Look, no more chicken sandwiches. Popeyes, Louisiana chicken. Remember I told y'all about those franchises too? This was a very great business move on the Clear lady who bought Popeyes from Al Copeland. And let me tell you why. Al Copeland owned Copeland restaurants, if you know. But let me tell you why. This epidemic, this chicken sandwich, literally, single-handedly diminished the value of original Popeyes chicken. Remember, I told y'all when you own a franchise, a lot of the times you don't own the recipes. Well, no, most of the time you don't own the recipes, and you don't own the business. You just own the space to house the business. And most of the time, when you sell the old recipe, the person who owns the recipe still gets paid. So when the owners of the new Popeyes turned it to Popeyes Louisiana chicken and then gave y'all a chicken sandwich, how many of y'all even really still go to Popeyes and get the original chicken? Great business move. I'm just thinking business-wise. It was amazing. It was amazing. As a business person, talk about getting all the revenue to come straight to your pocketbook. That was an amazing business move. But for the people, I'm pretty sure they sprinkled something on there. I don't know what the hell they didn't put on that chicken. I never had none, never went down there and got none. I was raised off of Popeyes, so I didn't see the hype no way. As a matter of fact, when it became Louisiana chicken, I'm telling you, people in New Orleans was like, ugh. And Popeyes is nasty outside of New Orleans, so there's that. Up until recently, all the Popeyes in New Orleans still was Popeyes, while everybody else had Louisiana chicken. So we just never was a big fan. But anyway, yeah, that's how I knew. Yeah, they sprinkling something in them doggone food. Y'all got to be careful now. Be careful. Be careful. Thank you so much for the super chat. Carolyn Johnson, I'm sorry, says, hey boo, a little off topic. Have you heard about the Black-owned then Still Beach, Atlantic Beach, Would love your input. Definitely going to visit. Now, I haven't heard about Atlantic Beach, but I'm going to write that down. Atlantic Beach. And let me say this. Y'all do know we didn't just own those beaches. We owned Martha's Vineyard. We own, listen, reparations. Y'all don't even understand. We owned Martha's Vineyard. We owned Miami. A black man owned Miami. Like, it's just, when we talk reparations, we got to really talk it. But I haven't heard about Atlantic Beach, but I will explore it. Thank you so much for putting it on my radar. But it doesn't surprise me because it was so much we owned. Freedmen's Network, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, dog, Brooklyn in the house, FBA roadblock in effect. Absolutely. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Shout out to my New York folks. Misha, thank you for being a member for 6 months. That's why the line was down the street around the corner. Yeah, because they put that razzle dazzle or that little, that little Chris Nye on it. William, thank you for becoming a new member. Carolyn Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm not gonna lie, August 2019, that's all I wanted after I gave birth to my son. Well, pregnancy don't count, because you know when you're pregnant, them children make you want to eat all types of stuff. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, so you get a pass, but all the rest of them, they don't really get no pass. You feel what I'm saying? Pure joy. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Vu, we had a Copeland's in Harlem. Was Al Copeland married to a clear? Al Copeland is a clear. He's an Italian clear, and yes, he was married to multiple clears. Al Copeland was a man. I used to work for Copeland's for years, Scolds and Blues. Those are the jobs I kept getting fired from and getting rehired. Let me give you the tea on Al Copeland. Al Copeland was a clear Italian man who went down to the projects. I heard it was the St. Bernard project, but or at least if not in the St. Bernard, a lady around from the St. Bernard who was selling chicken out her house, and he paid that lady like $3,500 for her recipe and made millions and billions of dollars off it. He is a dark-haired, clear Italian who dated nothing but young, dark-haired, clear Italian girls. He died. His son took over, and he's just as much of a you know what as the daddy, dark hair, cleared, you feel what I'm saying, who date young, dark hair, because they all allegedly, but they all on coke, they all be in and out of the doggone rehab, every single one of them, allegedly. A bunch of rich crackheads is what they are, allegedly. So yes, Al Copeland is the one who created Popeyes from a black woman's recipe, not just Colonel Sanders. They was doing it all over from a black woman's recipe, paid her $3,500 and made millions and millions off the doggone thing. When he sold Popeyes, he kept the recipe. So whenever you buy original Popeyes chicken, the biscuits, the mashed potatoes and all that stuff, that part of that money goes back into the Al Copeland people, okay? Is Al Copeland that fat white that be in those grocery store commercials? No, he wasn't fat. Not a fat white. Nah, he was a clear, but he wasn't a fat one. He was one of them, you know, he had cancer too, and he had went overseas somewhere paying this hella crazy money for these treatments, and that fool ended up dying right after that too. Yeah, they stole the famous Amos recipe. They stole all our stuff. That's how they go. But yeah, Turkey Leg Hut, y'all count y'all days. We got to move on. Let's get into Kanye's wife. So did y'all know Kanye was out here pimping his wife? It makes sense because she's always on display, always naked, always. So apparently this S worker came out and started talking about how basically Kanye married his wife and he pimps out his wife to other people. And she has a story on what happened the time that she was invited over there and she found out he be pimping out his wife. Now, shortly after that, he came out and admitted that he do be pimping out his wife, meaning Kanye West, like Marvin Gaye, allegedly likes to have big inside of his wife, and he like to watch. Allegedly. Okay, so according to this girl, we're gonna get into it, and I think that and she is always naked, Clarissa. And let me say this: I think the reason she's always naked is because she's always on display. Yes, Simeon, a cuck. Yes, a cuck. And you know what else this goes back to? When he told the story about him and his cousin exploring and whatever at 6 years old, it would make sense why his palette is so broad, because once you've done that stuff for X amount of time, this is why it's not healthy to watch PORN a lot. This is why it's not healthy to go to strip clubs a lot, because you get bored with the regular stuff and you want to extend and go further and do more. Okay. And plus, a lot of these people who be doing this in the past struggle with their own sexualities. I'm not saying that about Kanye, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So let's get into her story about how she firsthand witnessed Kanye allowing these big schlongs to ram his wife. Check it out.
Kanye pays P-stars, men with large black this to F his wife, and I approve. Kanye pays P-stars, men with large black this to F his wife, and I approve. Kanye pays P-stars, men. Okay, so I do have Kanye and his wife T. This has been brewing for the past couple of years. There's no reason for me to bring it out except for this. I do feel like I could let you guys know into the situation that's happening. So Kanye pays P-stars, men with large black this to F his wife, and I approve. Okay, so I have in the past effed, like made a video with this man, this P-star who has a large black schlong. Okay, I've made a video with him. So one day I get this text.
Somebody asked, how does she know? Because she was she's a P-star too. That's what they do. She said she was getting by along at the time. So she know because she was in there doing it as well. And she's going to go into detail. You see what I'm saying? Check it out. I want to read this. Would you be down to blank? We out here with Ye. He's down for you to come. She says, hey, OMG, sounds fun. I lost my passport though. He says, hey, Maya, it's okay to give Kanye your number. And he says, he asked me for it, but I want to be to be consented, you know. And she says, yes, call her, text. And she asks if y'all in Italy right now and how long they're gonna be there. So this is the text message between her and the guy.
Okay, so I do,
mind you, this is the guy who's supposed to be hooking her up with Ye for the freak off.
You have Kanye and his wife T. This is read it. Okay. So no, at this time, I had the worst anxiety of my life, guys. I was having I had to stay at my parents' house. When he texted me this, I was at my parents' house because I had such bad anxiety that I could not function. So I was not going to go to Italy on a 10-hour flight because I was like, I will have a panic attack the entire way. This is not happening. But I read it and I was like, what the oh, this is crazy, right? So here's more texts. Wait, by the way, the only way that in my head I was going to make this happen is if my best friend who's 40 came with me, and I was saying she's my assistant, and they would not let her come and read the text.
Pause. Hey, I tried to see about getting a ticket for your assistant, but I couldn't swing it. But if you want to come out to Italy, meet Ye and have some fun, they'll make it worth it. She says, I do, but do you know why she can't? It's weird to me. And the person says, I mean, you can get her a ticket, but I don't think that's something they'd cover, you know? It's kind of a big party. She says, what would I be walking into? They say they take care of hotel room and stay, but it's most likely a big kickback. Few celebs and other models are there. She says, if I have to get her a flight, I will, but she needs to come, but I'd be down. And then she asked if they were still in LA. So she's conversing back with this person, the liaison between her and Ye, and they're trying to get her to come. She want her friend to come, and they like, yeah, Ye not gonna pay for that. He only gonna pay for you. So she's saying that my friend gonna have to come if I gotta buy her a ticket myself. So that's what we got so far.
And also, here's my text with Kanye's private jet guy.
Hi, Maya. My name is Kelvin, PJ Kev. It says, I handle travel for Ye. He would like me to fly you out to Italy. She says, I lost my passport, so I can't come to Italy. He said, oh, okay. Would you like me to help to get you a rushed passport? Y'all do know they doing that. Baddies.
Also, this is what I put on my close friend story at this time.
All I'm saying is Kanye West just invited me on a private jet to Italy, but I have crippled anxiety and can't go. He also kind of sucks, but I like it. Yeah.
You can look at the date. Read it, okay? So no, at this time, I had the worst anxiety of my life. All right, so what happened is the guy who I've shot a video with, who was in Italy with Kanye, Kanye lets him F his wife, okay? The guy who I shot with showed Kanye a video of me and him effing, like, because we made a tape together, and Kanye said, I want her to come. Okay? Kanye likes to watch other men F his wife and other girls. Obviously, from the text, you can see I didn't go because I really did have like really bad anxiety at the
For people who's asking what would somebody get out of watching someone else F their partner, there are a couple of reasons why some people are into that. Some is because a lot of the men who allow that are homosexual or bisexual. They have an interest in other men. Let's go there, okay? Then the other reason is because a lot of times those men are not equipped to perform. So they get a satisfaction of watching their partner be satisfied by someone else because they know physically they cannot provide such satisfaction. Okay? So those are two of the main reasons why they do it. Either their attraction to the same sex, or it's them realizing that I can't do it, so I get satisfaction out of knowing that my person is satisfied. You know a reason I can say that? Because y'all know I had my little times back in the gap. Lesbians. They have lesbians that don't like to be touched. They get their satisfaction off of touching somebody else and watching them. Not just lesbians, people, period. You feel what I'm saying? It's a thing. When it comes into the spectrum of sexuality and sex and things that people go for, there's a whole large spectrum of things, okay? So just like a cuck would sit there and watch his spouse be pummeled and he would get some sort of satisfaction from that, it's the same way other people do it when they don't want to be touched. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, touch me nots and stuff like that. It's the same way in their situation where they don't want to be touched, but they get satisfaction off of seeing you satisfied. So just to kind of get y'all into that. So, and again, these are rich billionaires. Girl, him being a cuck is probably ain't even at the cusp of the things he's done sexually. A cuck, that's like missionary to them niggas. A billionaire, being a cuck is doing missionary. Like laying on your bike with no movement. That's what cucking is for them. I'm just saying. So anyway, she's going into detail about that. And she said she was there because the guy who invited her was a guy she was sleeping with. And they had videotape. So the guy showed the tape of him sleeping with this girl right here. And Kanye said, good, I want both of y'all to come and screw my wife. That's what we have so far, allegedly.
The time I would have gone if I didn't have the anxiety, to be honest. Wish I had that story, but I don't. But afterwards, I ended up moving to LA and I meet this guy. This guy is really rich. He's well known in LA for just like having rich parents. And he had a girlfriend at the time. And him and his girlfriend went on that same Italy trip that I was supposed to go on. Okay. And he ended up telling me all the lore, his girlfriend. All right. So what happened is the guy was getting effed by these guys and Kanye also. And like with his wife, and like Kanye was watching his wife getting effed, and like I'm just saying that is what goes down. I'm just saying, because I swear to God I saw a TikTok or something that was like where Kanye was like, oh, they F my wife, like something F my wife, and all the comments were like, yeah, he means girls. No, guys, he means guys. Like he literally wants P-stars with big schlongs to F his wife, and he does that shit. Guys, this is all real, by the way. I don't care if you don't believe me, like don't believe me, I don't give a fuck, but this is all real. I promise to God, because the guy who was texting me, the P-star, was texting me pictures also with him and Kanye, like Snapchatting me them, like whatever. All real. I don't care if you believe me or not, but it is all real. So this is what's really going on with him and his wife. And
I definitely am more like Stag Vixen and shit. You know, you guys know this term?
Yeah.
It's more like swap. It's kind of like, you like,
Same.
yeah. People call us cucks, and then cucks. I'll get cucked and shit, just for like to switch it up. But,
For the rush, you know.
yeah, it's like,
Rush.
like be on the outside of the door and shit, you know?
Car racing.
Yeah.
Are we streaming or no?
Yeah.
We're streaming?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I wish I knew.
Oh, we're live?
Mm-hmm.
Turn it off.
Audio on or off?
No, the audio's off.
The audio's off?
It's off.
Whoever that was did that set him up.
I'm
So what he was talking about was cucking. He said, I don't mind. He said, I don't mind being cucked. I guess being the person who's watching. And he was like, yeah, you know, like be outside of the door or something like that. Hey, bro, listen, this is only crazy to us regular people. This is the par for the course for these folks. And can I also say this? I also feel like black people should mind their business when a black man is cucking a white woman. Why do black people care what he doing with that clear woman? I will never understand that. Why is the collective of black people even giving a damn about what he doing around there with that clear woman? I don't give a damn what he doing with her. That ain't that girl. He could hang this heifer off the balcony tomorrow. That don't have nothing to do with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, black people, stop. Stop caring about stuff that wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. Girl, let him pass her around to everything with the big black, yay. That don't have nothing to do with me. That don't have nothing to do with me, and nor do I care. If she like it, I love it, it's cool. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I never understood why black people get upset with what he trolled when he trolled the clears. And not only with the white stuff, he trolled the clears with the KKK outfit. He trolled the clears with the swastika. He trolls the clears with everything. And Negroes be all up in their feelings. I never will understand it. I will never understand it. Why do a nigga care about him trolling them people? Now, when he get to trolling us, I get it. But he trolling them. Black people need to sit back, eat their popcorn, and mind their regular ass business. That's between Kanye and them clears. That ain't got nothing to do with no nigga walking the face of this earth. Nothing. Y'all got to be strong. Oh, I can't believe he used the swastika. Shut up. That ain't got nothing to do with you. I can't believe he wore a black KKK outfit. If you understand what that was and why he had it on, you would understand that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Him getting a clear slut to tramp out all over the world with big black schlongs ain't got nothing to do with Black America. You shut up, mind your business, eat your popcorn, and enjoy the show. That's what I be doing. That's what I be doing. I be sitting here saying, for real, girl. That's what y'all need to be doing. Seriously. Stop letting him trolling them people get up under your skin. That don't have nothing to do with you. Nothing. All this trolling he been doing lately has had the last, I want to say, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. The last controversial thing Kanye said, and correct me if I'm wrong, about black people or to black people, and it was only controversial, was that slavery was a choice. I'm trying to see what else he's been doing to black folks since then. You ain't gotta like him. You ain't gotta love him. You could think he trash. But stop getting in your feelings about stuff that don't have nothing to do with you. That's all I'm asking. But yeah, allegedly, Kanye is a cuck, and he probably have a small wiener. That's what it's given to me. You know what I mean? I've always thought that though, even in the polos. But you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, whatever he doing with his wife don't got nothing to do with us. It don't surprise me, especially given his history that he told us about, and not only the history, especially knowing that he's in that industry and he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Us broke people, this is above our pay grade. Us broke niggas, this is above our pay grade. We need to mind our business. Sip the tea and mind our business, okay? Anyway, so that's the rumor about Ye and his wife. I think I had something. Oh, I did have something else to show y'all. And that's the boy Sneeko. Didn't he get snuck by somebody? Wasn't Tariq Nasheed over there dragging him for getting snuck by somebody? The Sneeko dude, or maybe he was with the clear boy that got snuck or something like that, and they didn't jump in or something. It was crazy. Oh yeah. Here go Ye. This is him talking about his cousin back in the Gap. Hold on. Y'all get the likes up on the video. Now, the way I took it, I'm going to let him say it. And then I'm going to tell y'all what I took from his confession about his cousin, okay? Get the likes up.
Happens only one time because it was so hard, I want to say, to really express that. I talked to him about that, him and the whole team at the office and shit, in front of the big screen with shit. So I sat down with Dave. I was like, man, this is what happened. And I love to just share the story because I felt so, I was traumatized by it because it wasn't like something, you a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just do what you see. And then you're told that it's wrong afterwards. And then you're told it's wrong. And then you're made to be embarrassed about what you did. And you meant, or it's like, this is who you are for the rest of your life. That shit was like blocked out of my head for like 10 years. And I knew that once that it was expressed, because I had people around me that was like, yo, take it to your grave. It's like getting over the fear, bro. The cousin thing happens only one time because it was so hard, I want to say, to really express that. I talked to him about that, him and the whole team at the office and shit, in front of the big screen with shit. So I sat down with Dave. I was like, man, this is what happened. And I love to just share the story because I felt so, I was traumatized by it because it wasn't like something, you a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just do what you see. And then you're told that it's wrong afterwards. And then you're told it's wrong. And then you're made to be embarrassed about what you did. And you meant, or it's like, this is who you are for the rest of your life. That shit was like blocked out of my head for like 10 years. And I knew that once that it was expressed, because I had people around me that was like, yo, take it to your grave. It's like getting over the fear, bro. The cousin thing.
All right. What I took from this was Kanye West was a child and unfortunately had experienced possibly some sexual trauma or was exposed to something that got him into playing house with his male cousin. Let's really be clear about this. Let's talk turkey. Because I'm so tired and sick and tired of niggas on the internet acting like they perfect. It really blows me to smithereens. As a child, something had to happen for Kanye to even be exploring and playing like that with his cousin. But at the end of the day, he was a child. We need to start looking into what happened to make Kanye at 6 and 7 and 8 years old be doing stuff like that. Secondly, we should be a bit more empathetic toward the fact that he expressed it, because most people would never get on here and tell you, yeah, back in the day I was hunching my cousins. They will never tell you that. They take it to the grave. And as they should, if that's what they want to do. But my thing is, for people to then turn around and say he's gay and then criticize him, it kind of leads to either you want Black men to be able to be open about their experiences or you don't. Do you want Black men to be able to say, hey, man, I was traumatized as a kid when 30-year-old Perline pulled my drawers down and whoop-de-whoop? Or, hey, I was traumatized as a kid when I didn't know at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old that doing this is gay or doing this is straight or doing this is right or doing this is wrong. They were children. And people are dragging him as if he's saying it in a boastful way or as if it tears him down as a person. And you could have your feelings about Kanye all you want. But what I heard was a grown man describing a traumatic event that happened when he was a child. That's what I got. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the one on the outs on this. Maybe I'm the one on the island seeing it completely wrong. And if I am, that's just what my heart is on. So I'm going to just go with the move. If I'm wrong later, I will come back and take it back. But I'm telling you from what I see, I heard a man talk about a traumatic experience that happened to him as a child. He was a child. Same stuff with the alleged situation with Tasiki and Krishan. They were children. Like, are we gonna at any point explore what could have happened to make them do those things as children? I'm just asking. But I think we got to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that. And plus, let's really be clear about it. This gonna sound bad, but I gotta say it. A lot of black people hunch their cousins growing up. You ain't gotta out yourself. You ain't gotta say nothing about it was you or your cousin. A lot of black people hunch their cousin growing up. Now, I'm not saying they did anything penetrable, like penetration, but a lot of black people hunch their cousin growing up. Y'all, but I guess I'm supposed to act like that never happens. Okay, gotcha. Either way, I feel bad for him. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, playing high and go get it. In New Orleans, we called it catch, get a little bit. Catch, get a little bit. Meaning you count and hold your and hold you count to 10 or however, and then when you take your your hand away, this is not good, but I had this. I'm just saying, you take your hand out and you go looking, or whatever the case may be, and whatever girl you found, yay! Y'all acting crazy, bro. Y'all acting crazy on here. I don't understand. I don't. Yay! In New Orleans, we called it catch, get a little bit. Yay! Y'all know what I'm talking about. But again, not to promote what he's saying or like put it up on like this great thing of things that happen. But I ain't gonna lie, it happens. Y'all done played house. Hell, it's a few people I know back in the day. I understand where they at. Like, yeah, I remember. Look, y'all know about that cousin. You see him today, or you see her today and be like, oh yeah, sound about right. I remember when we was about 8, 9. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all know. Everybody got to stop it. Now y'all acting crazy. Ow! But anyways, girl, yeah. But I honestly, either way, I felt like it was him talking about a traumatic experience because children should not be exposed to that, let alone doing things. And if they're exposed to it, then what happened? Because I remember back in the day, that crate full of tapes, VHS tapes with the PORN on it, you didn't know what that was. That was hid. If your parents or some of them had the nasty magazines, you did not see that. That was hid, ducked off in a safe or something, all the way in the back of the closet. So it gives to me that somebody older than him was like, come on, yay. Come on, little cuz. Come watch this. And that within itself is abuse. I'm just saying. I was there. You wasn't running. You wasn't sifting through your VHS tapes and ran across PORN. That was put far away. You wasn't going to run across it. You were not going to run across that in random unless somebody told you where it was or somebody said, hey, come watch it. I'm just saying, if you were there, you know I ain't lying. If you were there, you know I ain't lying. So I'm just saying, we got to start peeling back the layers on this stuff. But yeah, honestly, I don't know why he came out and said it. I don't know why he would come out and say it, but you know, he did. And it is what it is. I just think we shouldn't demonize him, but it does make sense why he cucking and all that other stuff. When you exposed to that type of stuff at 6, 7, and 8 years old, girl, cucking is nothing. Cucking is like drinking water. Girl, please. Cucking, that's nothing. This nigga been doing stuff. I grew up in the 90s, girl. Niggas wasn't eating no Cuda. And he was over there doing all types of stuff at 6. Child, please. Yeah, it makes sense why he's where he's at right now. Okay. Now let's move on. I want to move on to Antonio Brown and this Shedeur Sanders situation. You guys, y'all get the likes up on the video, please. Get the likes up on the video. He said his mama had material. He also said his mama was gay. It wouldn't surprise me. It gave me dagger tease. Shout out to Miss West, but she gave me a little dagger tease. I ain't never seen her with no mane. You know, she gave me foreigner though. Kanye West mama looked like a Caribbean. This is no shade, but my mother-in-law was Caribbean, so she kind of gave me Caribbean teas, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Hell, Jay-Z more dagger. Yeah, look, Kelly said it the same time I said it. Yeah, Jay-Z more dagger. Cherie said dagger West. I'm not. I hate y'all. Why would you put that on here, Dagger West? Girl, I hate y'all so much. This is so bad. Oh, not Dagger West. Girl, y'all is a mess. Y'all is tired. Y'all is tired. Let's move on to this Antonio Brown situation, girl. Oh, Lord. Yes, indeed. Y'all is crazy. Y'all is really crazy for real. Hold on. I got another. Thank you, Divine Empress, for the super chat. Says, like Betty off of Roscoe Jenkins. Betty, that's your cousin. Quiet as it's kept. We don't, hey, black people don't like to talk about that side of our history. Y'all was around there hunching on y'all cousins too. Playing house. I'ma be the mama this time. You be the daddy. And y'all could be the children. Go away from me with this, Apollo, because y'all get to acting brand new. Y'all get on here and get to saying anything on this internet. Y'all get to rewriting history. I kept my clothes on too, China Richie. I kept my clothes on. I did. I didn't let them hunch me with the nakedness. I let them hunch me with my clothes on. But stop doing it. Girl, come on, let's play house. Let's play. And you know who wanted to hunch each other? Because they was the ones who always be the mom and the daddy. We having a conversation or no? You already know who wanted to hunch each other because they the one come to you talking about let's play house. And then when it's time to pick who we all gonna be, all of a sudden we already got the mom and the daddy. I'm too real for YouTube. Y'all be on here acting crazy. I'm too real. You already know you about to be one of the children when they come to you. You want to play house? House? Yeah, come play house. Girl, y'all is a mess. Y'all is a mess, girl. Next thing I want to be the mama. No, I'm the mama. I'm the mama. You could be the daughter. Let's move on to Shedeur Sanders and Antonio Brown. Right. Hold on. This is so true. This is a true statement. You know, and it's funny that people say this because this gonna go over a lot of people's heads. But Nita, I'm so glad you said this. Nita says this was pre-technology. We had to be creative. Do you understand that technology has literally taken away our creation or creativity? Mm-hmm. Yes, we had to create whole scenarios. And once we figure out who the mom and the daddy, who the churn is, next thing you know, the mama want to cook dinner. Let's talk about it. The mama want to cook dinner for the kids and put them to bed. And then her and the daddy go to bed. Girl, bye. Because y'all playing on here. Y'all playing. Let's move on. Y'all playing. Yes, I did keep my clothes on because my mama didn't play with me like that. But yeah, stop acting crazy. Y'all on here playing. Let's move on. Girl, look. Soon as the house start. Oh, I'm about to cook y'all some dinner so y'all can get ready for bed. Ready for bed? Yay. I'm about to cook this dinner. Y'all gonna eat y'all food and y'all gonna get ready to go to bed. You already know what that means. Girl, get from around here, girl. Y'all is crazy. Let's move on to Shedeur. So Antonio Brown is beefing with Shedeur Sanders. I didn't even know they had a history. I didn't know that they were cool at one point. Ciao. So Shedeur Sanders And AB made a comment after the draft or during the draft or whatever the case may be, that a lot of people, what was I saying? It don't matter. So Shedeur Sanders was just looking, we were just looking at the whole draft situation for Shedeur Sanders and him going 5th round, 144th pick. I told y'all there's a lot of numerology and a lot of other stuff going on there. Well, one of his mentors, I guess maybe at one time, was Antonio Brown. Now we all know Antonio Brown he ain't all there. And then also Antonio Brown has this podcast that I actually love the name. It's called CTE. What's the name of it? It's called CT. I'm gonna get to it. Hold on. I think it's called CT. Where is it? What's the name of this doggone? I'm gonna find it. But it's a play off of the word CTE, but it's CT something. I think I shared a video on my page. But he has his own podcast. And on said podcast, he speak about a few things or whatever the case may be. But it's kind of a play on the whole CTE thing. Neither here nor there. So in Charleston White was on the other day. I got to go check it out. So anyway, everybody watching the whole draft situation with Shedeur Sanders. And then here comes AB out the window talking about Shedeur Sanders and talking to students at high schools in Cleveland. It says, Antonio Brown speaks on footage of Shedeur Sanders talking to students at a high school in Cleveland. So this is what he had to say. Now, I will say this. I didn't know that Shedeur and his brother Shiloh and a bunch of them other ones took young Dolph's son under their wings, and they have been mentoring him. I love that for them boys, that they are doing mentorship to other kids, okay? AB says, okay, this is the tweet. It says, in his first week in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders today surprised a group of scholars/athletes at John Marshall High School. I'll be more involved in the community and really leading the kids in the right direction, Sanders said after he was drafted. So basically what's happening here, he was drafted the other day and right to the high schools he went, right? AB says, now he's sucking D, where the cockiness, 5th round nigga, now LMAO, this type of SHIT they have you do when you go 5th round. So basically, AB is trolling Shedeur like, aha, nanny, boo-boo, simply because you went the 5th round. Now they got you over there talking to the high school churn. So basically, he's trolling him. Let's get into a little bit. Hold on, let me, this is him speaking at the school. Shedeur.
Like that's just a tactic people use, you know, for people that come from good families or have good parents or anything. So I didn't fall into that. So I knew my dad's who he is, and I'm gonna be who I am regardless. I'm always gonna be his son. So it was like I looked at it and I shifted my thoughts, just feeling like, okay, that's negative, like that's positive. That's why I'm like, that's why I be happy. It's like, oh, if people say, well, you did this because I'm thankful my dad took the opportunity to do what he was supposed to do, you know. So I don't ever feel shame or feel anything like that. And I never let outside influence kind of like influence me as a person. So I'm gonna always be who I am, and I'm gonna, you know, say how I feel or be how I am. But I'm not gonna let somebody else's negative thoughts or however they view me affect how I think. You know, I feel like that's just a tactic people use.
All right, so that was him speaking at the high school, speaking to the kids, talking about how basically he's not ashamed of his dad helping him and all those things, and he shouldn't be ashamed. At the end of the day, he was lucky enough in his career to have a daddy who dominated the career. And baseball, mind you. He was a great baseball player. Matter of fact, Deion Sanders, one of the only players that played in an what would I say yesterday? It was a Super Bowl and a what they call the MLB stuff. They championship too. You see what I'm saying? So he just happened to be lucky enough to be the son of somebody like that. And I don't think anything's wrong with him going speak at the school. I think that needs to be done more often. I remember back in the day, we used to have speakers come to the school. Now they get rappers like Rockhead and Blueface to come perform at the school and input the bull crap. World Series, thank y'all. World Series. But I don't think there's anything wrong with him speaking at the school. Do I think that's because he went 5th round in the draft? I don't know. Because maybe AB knows something more about this football stuff than I do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't think that this is a flex like, nanny boo boo. That's why they got you speaking at a school. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Even if they made him do it, I love that for them. Because there's some young boys in there who want to play football, and they seeing Shedeur is something that's great for them in their future. Now, I hate that we put these things into our children's heads, because at the end of the day, for the most part, only 1% of these folks is going to make it to the NFL or the NBA. Less than 1%. So I don't like that we put those type of things on our children. We put those type of things on our children to make it seem like those things are easily attainable. And it's not that it's impossible. It's just that the probability of those things are very slim to none. I wish that as people, Black Americans, we start teaching our children to have fallback plans. Like, hey, you want to play football, but what happens if football don't go your way? What do you want to do with life? And go and attack both situations. Yes, Bo Jackson was another one that played in the World Series or played great Major League Baseball and football, as a matter of fact. But anyway, I didn't think that was a bad thing. So then here comes AB again. It says Antonio Brown daily crash out continue. He now is coming for Deion Sanders and his son. And AB, this is him in the jersey, and this is Shedeur. AB says Deion D. Ryder used me to help his sorry ass son in 2019. Y'all get the likes up. This is him sharing footage of, I guess, Deion having AB run plays with Shedeur in 2019. Yeah, I'm gonna sit up.
Just throw the ball right now. You just.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit up. Now, is this who he's saying? Is he saying Shedeur throwing the ball? I think so. Look where the ball right now. You just. Yeah, I'm gonna sit up. So he's trying to say that it's Shedeur throwing the ball. I thought that was Shedeur right there. But Shedeur's throwing the ball at him, and the ball goes way over here. So AB saying he trash. And then he says, nigga, Resort World, just Friday night and Saturday, call nigga UPU, you know, woo-de-woo, or whatever the case may be. This is, I don't know if this, I don't understand iPhone messages, so I don't know who's texting this. But this is what I see so far from AB's receipts. And then he says, Jit thought I was his assistant, stupid ass Jit. Now he's sucking D. Hashtag stop bothering me, nigga. Then he goes on to say, somebody says, twin, don't make me have you leave your house in Miami and go to Tampa, nigga. If you say one more thing about Pop, nigga, it's up. Hashtag Deion Sanders or the family. And then it says, cursing emojis, strong hand emojis, blue heart emojis, shit emoji, off limit, lil nigga, donut emoji, thinking emoji. And then AB says, tell Deion, get up on his good foot. Now the nigga just said, if you say one more word, I'm gonna make you leave Miami. AB said, tell Deion, get up on his good foot. And then somebody else says, nigga speaking on Shedeur, but act like he don't see Pac-Man on his ass, LMAO, scary ass. And then he says, F all, no spares. So AB is over here battling everybody. Now, mind you, AB is close or was close with what's his name? Tom Brady. And remember, Shannon. Skip came out and said that Tom Brady was the reason why Shedeur didn't get drafted one of those rounds, that he kind of sabotaged them or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But ultimately, I don't know what started this beef, but AB got it up he got it up for Shedeur. And I thought that was crazy. I don't know the background story. I don't know what happened, but I do know this. AB is not a fan of Shedeur. And let me also say this. When I did watch a little snippet of his CTE podcast, his CTE, whatever it was, don't nothing look like nothing wrong with him. Don't look like nothing much wrong with him. I think a lot of these folks troll a lot of the people on the internet for engagement, and it brings like attention to the podcast. I don't know. We'll see. But he got beef with Shedeur. I'm pretty sure Shedeur is not responding or listening or paying attention to this because right now he's got a lot going on with being drafted to the Cleveland Browns and figuring out what's going to be life moving forward. So I'm pretty sure Shedeur don't give a damn about what AB around here talking about. Let AB sit there and act crazy, child. Ain't nobody tripping off of no damn AB. He be all right. But I thought that was crazy. Now, something else I want to show y'all. So I saw this Cam Newton video, right? Cam Newton, ex-NFL quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. I think that's the only team. No, he went to the Patriots later. But Cam Newton, black quarterback, was speaking about how basically how when you get picked up for the NFL, the extensive background check they do on you, right? According to Cam, with the extensive background check that they do on you, it's like the FBI digging into your personal life. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I did not know that they do this for NFL players. And they have other NFL players in the comments speaking about this like he's not lying. They were basically saying like, yo, like when you get drafted or they sign you to the NFL and they about to spend millions and millions of dollars on you, nigga, they will go back and try to see who your kindergarten teacher was and see how you was back in kindergarten. I was like, wow. You feel what I'm saying? Now, someone who's gone through background checks and understand how extensive they could be, I was like, that's crazy because it's just football. But the way Cam explained it made sense. I'm investing a lot of money in you, and I need you to show up. That's basically what he's saying. I thought this was crazy, but the amount of football players and NBA players in the comments co-signing tells me that he's not far-fetched about nothing that he's saying. Y'all check it out. Because it made me think about, too, all these other new players coming in and all that stuff. Check it out.
No. They just want to see if you're going to tell the truth. Because we're already going to talk to your coach. We don't talk to your high school coach. We don't talk to your rec ball coach. We don't talk to the motherfucker that you wasn't even paying attention to. The chick that you said, man, bitch, shut the fuck up. Yeah, we talked to her too. We about to insert a lot of money in your bank account. You don't think we going to do an extensive investigation about who the fuck Shedeur Sanders is? Cam Ward, Travis motherfucking Hunter? You don't think he ain't answered questions about his girlfriend? You don't think somebody asked him, hey, will your girlfriend be a distraction? Hey, what's the deal with your mama? Hey, what's the deal with your dad? Who's going to be staying with you, Travis? That's why you need the combine. They don't show that shit. The shit is so potent, you can't even put that shit on motherfucking TV because they go in depth, bro. I'm not sure if you're familiar. A couple years ago, one of the damn draft prospects, the mom, she just had a history. Yeah. Out of respect. They asked them about that just to see how you going to respond. That's their only time that they could get to put you in the pot and cook your ass. Because when you draft you, we ain't got time to be asking these questions. We want to see if you can perform, man. I don't give a fuck what you did, how you get here, who you did, when you got here. I don't give a damn. Perform. We play on Sundays. Will you be there with your skill set equipped? Don't tell me about, man, shit, grease got in my eye or motherfucking my car got a flat tire. Bitch, look, can you backpedal? Can you stop Jamar Chase? Can you sack Patrick Mahomes? Can you motherfucking catch the football? They know. They just want to see if you're going to tell the truth.
It's funny because he's speaking about the combine as well. And what's his name who took the knee? The biracial boy for the San Francisco 49ers who took the knee. Put it in the chat. Remember, he did a Netflix series, or not a series, but a Netflix movie about the combine, basically comparing it to slavery and how they get all deep into your business. And Kaepernick, that's who it was. Thank you, Miss Finesse. Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick. It was him. He spoke about how they put you up on these blocks and they have you naked and they looking at you and da-da-da-da-da-da. He spoke about that. Now, the part that Cam is talking about is more of an investigative side of the combine, meaning they want to know every single thing about you, friends, family, distant friends and family, cousins, co-workers. Who did you go to kindergarten with? Do they like you? What did they think about you when you were in kindergarten? Do you not listen? They know about everything. That time you stole that gum from the grocery store and you didn't go to jail. They know about it. The time you went to jail when you did steal the bubble gum. They know about it. They know about it. Okay? And this is what he's saying. Now, when you fast forward, somebody, one of the first comments, because this was the part that really got me, said, so what did they know about Aaron Hernandez? Let me tell you something. If you don't believe that them folks didn't know Aaron Hernandez in between games, wasn't going out unaliving people, you a new age fool. They didn't give a damn what Aaron Hernandez was doing outside of Florida State Seminoles. Is that where he went, Florida State, I think? And outside of the NBA when they was trying to get Tom Brady to be who the hell they wanted him to be. They didn't give a damn what Aaron Hernandez had going on. They knew. If they this deep into your business and this is what we know. You think them folks didn't know that Aaron Hernandez was out there popping niggas upside the head in between? Hell, one of the niggas he killed was right before the Super Bowl. Stop acting crazy. One of the men that Aaron Hernandez killed was the night before the Super Bowl. Are you crazy? Are you okay? Do you not think that nobody in the NFL had no clue that he had popped a nigga the night before the Super Bowl? They didn't give a fuck. They needed to win the Super Bowl. Hello? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Yes, they knew everything. Oh, he was a Florida Gator. My bad. Yes, they knew every single thing about these dudes. You think them people about to give these folks all this money and not get into... Stop acting crazy. Yes, in my opinion, I believe that they knew that he was unaliving people. And as a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say that I believe that they were helping him hide some of that shit. Another thing I wanted to speak about too. Somebody says Jamie Winborn, I don't know who that is, but they says all facts, they had more info on my father than I did. And I was like, I've never met him. That was 24 years ago. I can only imagine now. So 24 years ago, this person, Jamie Winborn, who has never even met his father, said the NFL knew more about his daddy than he did. And he never even met his daddy. That was 24 years ago. 24. So what you think they doing now? What you think they doing now? And don't get me started into Florida. Hey, because I see a lot of people putting Florida in the in the chat. Florida was a portal for a lot of people doing a lot of horrible, harsh, disgusting crimes. A lot of the players that went through Florida University y'all had a lot of unalivers come through there. At some point, I was starting to think Florida was a damn portal. I ain't gonna lie. That's a whole story within itself. Aaron Hernandez was just the one we all know about. But baby, when you start peeling back the layers on Florida, honey, I'm just saying. Y'all better do y'all researches on Florida, honey. So he came from the right school, Aaron Hernandez. He came from the right school. But anyways, neither here nor there. These people been doing these crazy, extensive background checks on these football players, and they know everything about you. So when Cam gets on here and say, oh, you think they don't know about your third grade teacher or the person you cursed out the other day who you don't even know exists? Yes. That's what they do. And they weigh their pros and cons when they decide who they gonna sign and who they gonna deal with. That's what they do, okay? I'm just saying. That's how they roll. And it's certain things. That's why you notice in NFL, the men who beat their wives, who cheat on their wives, who get R-word allegations, you don't hardly hear them being demonized. You rarely see them being demonized by the NFL. But all it takes is the NFL to take something that they know is going to touch the heartstrings of the people, and they'll take that and have you drag a person down to the ground for kneeling for the national anthem, but wouldn't drag a person for beating his wife up in the elevator. Yeah. Don't let that go over your head. The NFL ain't worth a dime. Let's move on. Let's go get Shannon and his ex-boyfriend Hollywood, alleged ex-boyfriend. You feel what I'm saying? So, okay, Shannon Sharpe's ex-stylist Hollywood came out and had a couple things to say. He's basically saying, hey, yeah, see, he should have stuck with me, because at least when I was around him, I covered up for him. But now he's left open to the wolves, and he has something to say about that whole situation. Now, remember, it's already rumored that Shannon Sharpe was sleeping with his ex-stylist Hollywood. You've seen them at basketball games together. You didn't see him with a woman, but you always seen them with the Hollywood guy. Well, Hollywood, I guess he's not his stylist anymore, but he recently took to his Instagram to talk, and he posted a picture and said, when I was around, you never heard a single word. Let's get into it. It says, oops, Shannon Sharpe's former stylist Hollywood speaks out amidst Shannon's recent controversy. It says, when I was around, you never heard a single word. I had everything organized, okay? And as you can see, when you look right here, this is his words. See, when I was around, you never heard a single word. I had everything organized. And now he's talking about why he switched his stylist. Now he's gonna say now this is him and the stylist and Shannon. The rumor at the time was Shannon was sleeping with the stylist. Everybody named Mom was saying Shannon was sleeping with the stylist. Plus, I heard through the grapevine they say the stylist has outed other people, so they didn't understand why Shannon would even hire him. Neither here nor there. The rumors were about that they were sleeping together. That's when he came out with the Michelle situation. Remember that, when he made a mistake and went live and Michelle, whatever. That was because these rumors were hot off the press. Okay, so now let's get into Shannon Sharpe talking about why he had to let go his stylist Hollywood.
He was gay. Okay, that's his life. That's not mine. Mm-hmm. Hollywood no longer styles me. Why? Because I'm loyal to Shelly. She was hurt that after 20 plus years of being my stylist, that I had gone outside to hire someone else. And someone else was getting the credit when she was there at CBS. She was there when I started at Fox. She was there when I was going out and doing red carpet events. And I never had a problem. And for me, in my head, I thought I needed someone outside. Right. I didn't buy one thing new when Hollywood started styling me. Everything, all those LB jackets, all that stuff that I already had it. And a lot of the stuff she had already put together, but I took it apart. So when he put it back together, it was just what she had put together. He was gay. Okay, that's his life.
So basically he's trying to say he wanted to stay loyal to the woman who was styling him, and she was the one who really put together all his looks, even the ones that we seen with him in Hollywood together. Now he's trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, he's gay, but who cares? That's his life, not mine. Bullshit. Bull crap. You let go of Hollywood, in my opinion, around the time or during the time that those rumors started being real heavy about you over there sleeping with Hollywood. Let's talk about it. Your old stylist feeling the type of way, that probably really did happen, but that ain't why you went back to the old stylist. You got tired of people calling you gay online. That's why you released the sex tape, the alleged sex tape. Oh, Michelle. Oh, Michelle. You remember that? In my opinion, I think that's why you got rid of Hollywood. It ain't had nothing to do with that other stuff. And honestly, the way you keep going out of your way to say that you're not gay is giving like, what's tea? Okay. Even with this new allegation with the clear girl, it still don't escape Shannon from the gay rumors. I'm gonna be complete. For me, I can't speak for nobody else. For me, I'm still not gonna walk around and say, well, he not gay. Because I don't know if he is or not, but I just don't know. Okay. But at the end of the day, Hollywood is somebody he need to be very careful with when he start talking about this person, because this person has a lot of your T's. This person was there. This person had a lot of your T's, and you need to tread light because this person could really put you outside on Front Street and really throw you under the bus. And now is not the time. Now, I'm pretty sure this is an old video. I'm pretty sure this isn't recent. I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure this isn't a recent video. It's just something resurfacing after Hollywood made his comment. But I'm just saying, if I were you, I would tread light. You see what I'm saying? I would tread light. When you know somebody got your tea, you got to tread light. But neither here nor there. Shannon Sharpe, like I told y'all, once the R-word allegations came out with the sodomy with that clear young lily white girl, once that came out, I told y'all Shannon is cooked. Because even if it was all consensual, the thought when you get inside of a clear person's head, especially a clear man, the thought of him thinking about your big, burly, deep voice, ape looking, because this is how they're going to think about you, on top of that little bitty lily white girl who looked like she could be one of their daughters. Listen, Shannon is lucky that they didn't hang his ass. I'm talking about like in real life. In real life. You sodomized a lily white girl. You're cooked. You're cooked. They can get over a lot of the other stuff, but the sodomy, Shay cooked. He cooked. He cooked. I'm telling you now, he's never going to come back from that sodomy. He's never coming back from it. Y'all can get on here and say, but then it was consensual. It's not about that. Get in the minds of the jury. These folks is going to look at this big old black athlete on top of that lily white girl in her bottom, and she said, I asked you not to do it. No means no. He's cooked. He's cooked. But anyway, he needs to tread light with the Hollywood situation because, that's going to really throw him up under the bus. That's going to be the bus to back up over him. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying. And again, I don't believe, other than, I'm going to be real. And maybe I'm biased because I'm black. I believe that girl set him up, and I believe everything that they did, she allowed him to do. And she allowed him to believe it was still under the guise of them role playing. But the problem is, you knick-knocks just don't get it. You don't get it. You'll never get it. And it is what it is. So now that she got you by the balls, I'm just over here eating my popcorn looking. I'm just over here eating my popcorn looking like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm putting my energy behind the black folks that need us. The ones who step out with the lily white girls and get caught up, let them lily whites deal with you. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm stepping behind the Negroes that need me to step behind them, like my Carmelo Anthonys of the world and things of that nature. I don't have time to be playing with Uncle Shannon Sharpe. I don't have time. And y'all can. I don't. I'm going to just keep reporting on it. But anywho's, let's get into the Latinos and sinners, honey. Honey, let's get into the Latinos and sinners. So as you guys know, let me see if I can pull it up. As you guys know, one of the best movies that's come out in a long time. Long times. One of the better movies that's come out in a long time, Sinners, has been the topic of discussion, not just amongst Black America, ironically, but amongst people globally. Now, one thing I found about this Sinners movie is that a lot of people are trying to, for lack of a better term, tether their way into the story, because how dare Black Americans at any point in time have a story that doesn't involve or evolve around other people? How dare we? Like, who do we think we are? Like, God, no. So we got the Africans running over here, and partially I can't blame the Africans because I'm not gonna lie. What's his face? Ryan Coogler made it at the beginning of the movie. He's put the setting in West Africa. Now, I'm going to give Ryan Coogler a pass because a lot of Black Americans still believe that we hail from some random section of West Africa. I'll let you argue about that amongst yourselves. That has nothing to do with me. I'm past that. That is above your pay grade if you're still on those type of times. If you still believe that we come from some sort of weird place in Africa, West Africa, then this conversation is above your pay grade. However, and this is no shade. This is no shade. I just got to say that part. There's too much documented research to show you that that is not true. Okay. Now, I'm not going to give much spoilers away because I want y'all to get a chance to go see it, but I will be previewing or doing a review on Sinners and Mound Bayou in the Delta, Mississippi today at 5:00. Make sure y'all pull up for Educational Friday. Okay. So boom. Ryan Coogler starts off with this West African thing, and here come the Africans. You see, nigga, do you see? You see, everything comes from Africa. Everything that you have, it comes from Africa. This is what I never understood about the Africans, though. Shout out to the Africans. Love y'all down to the ground. But I'm talking about the ones who be talking like that. If what we do and what we have came from Africa, then riddle me this. Where's the other group of Africans that are similar to us? Similar instruments, similar music, similar culture, similar accents, similar creativity. Where are the similar Africans? Point me to them. I need to find my tribe. Where are these niggas? I really want to know. Like, this is a real question. I really want to know where these niggas at. Where they at? I would love to meet these people. It's Africa, nigga. You play the guitar because it comes from the banjo in Africa, nigga. Show me the place in Africa that gets down with the banjo the same way we get down with the guitar, and then we can have a conversation. Show me the place in Africa that has similar music like jazz and blues and hip hop. Show me those places, and then we'll have a conversation. This is another question I have about the whole West Africa theory. My second question would be is, if we all came from West Africa and we all got our blues and rhythm and jazz from Africa, then riddle me this. Why are the Black the Southern Blacks so much different from the Northern Blacks? And this is no shade, meaning, why is it that the root of music only comes from the Southern region of America and not the Northern region? Because if we all got off the boat just at different spots or stops, shouldn't Northern regions of America have the same type of traditions as the Southern regions of America? And some will say, well, no, not really, Voodoo, because South has its own traditions and so does the North. I get that. But if we all bring in all of this history and culture from Africa, we should still have that same history and culture, whether we in New York, whether we in Louisiana, and for the most part, we do, for the most part. But I'm saying to say stuff that we're creating and we're doing in the South is not happening on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and vice versa. Things that's happening on the West Coast, not happening in the South. Things that's happening on the East Coast, not happening on the West Coast. Things that's happening in the Midwest ain't happening in the dirty South. It's a thing. But if we all come from this one mystery tribe in West Africa, why are we so different yet still the same? That's just a question. You see what I'm saying? I would have. I'm not going to tell you where you from. I can tell you where I'm from. Documentation proof. I ain't from Africa. On no side of my family. Not on my mama's side of my family. Not on my daddy's side of the family. We talking 6-7 generations on each side. Stop acting crazy. Okay? Now, why is this important? Ryan Coogler starts the movie off with the West African thing. Now, here come the Africans talking about you get it from us, you get it from us. We don't get nothing from you. Nothing. Let's start there first. Secondly, then here comes the Native Americans. So apparently the Choctaw, the $5 footlongs that came on and tried to warn the lady about the vampires. Here come the Native Americans. Let me see if I can find them. The Native Americans are on here now saying that it's messed up that they didn't have more Native American influence or pictures of stuff. Hold on, Sinners. Native American. Because we're gonna go over real quickly because I need y'all to understand this. So the Native Americans are freaking out and they're like, oh my God, you guys aren't utilizing too many Native Americans. I wish that you did more. And then they're misnomering these people by calling them indigenous. The $5 footlongs and or Native Americans are not indigenous. They're not. Let's really be clear about that. The $5 footlongs, aka Native Americans, are not indigenous to America. They're not. So stop calling them indigenous people. Stop it. They're not indigenous to this America. Let's start there first. Secondly, here comes us having a story simply for us, by us, and about us. And here come everybody else. Well, I wish we would have had more Native American experiences and Native American presence. Find you a $5 footlong, get him a camera and a microphone and have him write you a script, bitch. This don't have nothing to do with you. And this is what I'm talking about. And Black America, this is your fault. This is our fault. Because everybody's invited to the cookout. Y'all think everybody is your friend. You don't have no friends, Black America. I don't know when y'all gonna see that. Y'all ain't got no friends. Everybody around you is to take from you and to use something out of you. Okay? So for the Native Americans hopping on, talking about, oh, they needed more Native American influence. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Because let's really be clear about the roles these people played in these situations during these times. Native Americans, not then and not now, ain't never messed with no niggers. Let me say that again. Native Americans, not then and not now, ain't never messed with no niggas. Oh, and by the way, if you want to talk about the Native Americans marrying so-called Black people, they were marrying for opposite of what you think, dummy. You know why the Native American man married your Black great-great-grandmother? To take her land. He married into her because men were the ones who can have the real possession. He married to take her land. Harsh, ain't it? It's the truth. The Native Americans that did coexist with the Blacks was to take their land. Oh, and by the way, let's talk about the Asians. Everybody's like, oh, the Asians were so great. They came in, they were in the Delta, Mississippi, and there was a camaraderie amongst Black Americans and Asians. Cap. The Asians didn't mess with you then, and they don't mess with you now. The Asians were the first group to come inside of the Black community and drain you of your economics, you dumb fool. Because prior to them coming, the money circled within Black economics because everybody who owned something was Black. So if you went down to the grocery store and bought a dozen of eggs and a bag of potato chips and a loaf of bread, the person who owns the grocery store is going to take that money that he gained from you buying your bread, your eggs, and your potato chips, and he's going to take it to the Black tailor in the neighborhood or the Black tailor in the neighborhood across the way, or he's going to take it to the Black car repair guy, or he's going to take it to the Black hospital to pay his bills, or he's going to take it to the Black, you get it? And this is how money continued to circulate inside of our community. It wasn't until they put the Asians, the Chinese down there and said, hey, take their money. And then they came and sold us poison, and the money that we were spending didn't go back into the neighborhoods. You know what it did? It outsourced and went out to the powers that be. That's why they were able to come into your neighborhoods and sell you food. That's also why they had a store on one side for the whites and a store on another side for the Blacks. It wasn't that they were mutual. It wasn't that they weren't racist. Come on now. Let's be completely honest. The only reason they was doing what they did was because they were trying to buy their way into whiteness. Hello? They were buying themselves into the status of white, like the Latinos did. They put them amongst us too until they were able to buy themselves into the status of white. So yes, the Asians came over here and opened groceries. Very few, not a lot. Very poquito, very, very few. Let's really be clear about it. It wasn't no large populations of Chinese over the Delta. Let's really be clear about that. They came over here to siphon your money from your communities. Period. Point blank. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't give a damn about the TikTok video you seen and the Asian lady speaking like a black Southerner, talking about how my granddaddy opened this business and he helped black folks. Cap. They were there to siphon your money out of your communities. That's why they were placed there. Once they were able to be classified as white, then you got more businesses coming in there. Now you got the Arabs who are classified as white as status. You got the Africans coming in your neighborhoods classified as white as status. You got the Hispanics coming in. Everybody selling to you, and you cannot rotate a dollar through your own neighborhood because everything is outsourced. This is why the Asian was there. That's why it was nothing for her to invite the vampires on in and come get you niggas, because she never gave a damn no way. I hope that's making sense. I hope that's catching. Okay? So now let's move to the Latinos. Here they go. I'm so tired of these folks. You know what bothers me most about the Latinos? Let's be really clear about it. You know what bothers me the most about the Latinos? These the same Latinos that have literally hid the Black Indigenous people of whatever Latin speaking place they come from. Let's really be clear. Let's talk about the Latinos. Let's really have a conversation about the Latinos. A lot of Latinos have Black ancestry, but these Black ancestors were either intertwined or R-worded with the conquistador. The conquistador was never the Black Indian or Black Indian friend. As a matter of fact, they wanted to do genocide the same way that they want to do genocide in America. Okay, let's really be clear about that. So when these so-called Mexicans or these so-called Latinos come around here talking about, oh, there's no Latino representation, Holmes, where's the Latino representation? We will put Latino representation up when we start seeing the real Black Mexicans, when we start seeing the real Black Puerto Ricans, when we start seeing the real Black Brazilians, when we start seeing the real Black, when y'all start putting them up and telling us and showing us who they really are, then we'll think about your representation. But then back it up. You don't need no representation because you were not there. You weren't there. You weren't there. And we got a whole musical scene that went off without one Hispanic influence. And I know that drove y'all insane, huh? I know that drove y'all insane. I know it drove y'all insane, but I don't care. You weren't there. And when you were there, you were either gaslighting us or making it seem like you were our friend, acting like we were all kumbaya. And then the moment you got your white status, you shitted on us just as bad as the rest of them. Please have several empanadas and seats consecutively. I'm tired of y'all. I am so tired of y'all Hispanics. And not all of y'all. I'm talking about the ones who do that. I'm tired of y'all. Show me the Black abuela, and then we can talk about any other thing. Other than that, shut up, because you ain't even a real Mexican. You ain't even a real Latino. Let's really talk about it. I want to show y'all what the Latinos had to say about the situation. So apparently some Latino do, and this, I love TikTok, don't get me wrong, but one of the things I hate about TikTok is it's a cesspool for, it's a cesspool for a lot of woe is me. It's like a left wing, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bunch of bitches. Not everybody, but TikTok got a lot of bitch ass niggas over there. Yeah, a lot of rage bait noble. Yeah, a lot of stuff like a lot of, soft niggas shit. You know what I mean? Everybody complaining and whining. Everybody with false, fake, raggedy. Not everybody. Most people with jacked up history lessons. It's all a bunch of bull with TikTok. I never really could get jiggy with it, but now I understand why. Okay? So anyway, here come the Latinas. The Latinos, oh my God, Sinners was a great movie, but there's no Latino representation, Holmes. Where's the Latino representation? Y'all wasn't there. To this day, most of y'all ain't there. But this is what I'm talking about. Black folk can't have nothing. And let this be a lesson to y'all, just like the movie. Everybody y'all invite into your space, you're setting yourself up for failure. Let's get into what this fool had to say.
Movie Sinners, but ... Part 1. There will be spoilers. I love the movie Sinners, but it's literally the plot of From Dusk Till Dawn. Two criminal brothers head down south to start new lives. While down south, they are trapped in a building that's in the middle of nowhere, and they find themselves surrounded by vampires. One of the brothers is seduced by a beautiful vampire temptress and gets turned into a vampire. The other brother, who's a straight shooter, leads a group of survivors to survive the night until dawn. And throughout the...
So really quickly, this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to say that Ryan Coogler basically stole the idea from Dusk Till Dawn and created a black version of it. That's what he's saying, right? So he's saying, basically, he's going through the details of how Dusk Till Dawn came about, what that movie was about, and how similar it is to Sinners. Now, this is the gag. From what I understand, Ryan Coogler spoke about how that movie influenced his idea to write Sinners. So I don't understand where he's going with this, but let's get back into what else. He's going through the similarities.
Throughout the movie, we have discussions about religion, faith, and family. In the final climactic battle of this movie, there's a huge fight between the survivors and the vampires. The Asian character in this movie sacrifices himself to protect their family. One of the characters in this movie who was turned begs their loved one to end their life, and with tears in their eyes, they do. And after killing all the vampires via sunlight, the only two survivors are the brother and the hopeful youth. The hopeful youth whose father was a preacher. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here because I follow people in the horror community. No one's talking about this. It's insane. There is one fucking movie that Sinners owes everything to, and it's not fucking Puss in Boots. It's goddamn From Dusk Till Dawn. And like, I'm not saying Nosferatu, Dracula, Sinners, From Dusk Till Dawn, but I will say that Ryan Coogler needs to firmly address that he was inspired by a Latin American vampire movie because we are owed our flowers. Also, Ryan, I saw that tamale story you put in the movie. Where's the fucking Latino extras? Come on, Ryan, you're so good at putting Latinos in your movie. What the fuck happened here? You don't put Latinos in the movie and you steal from the biggest Latino vampire movie?
Let me say this. This is so much misinformation, and I hate that term. Let's start with this. Okay, so Ryan Coogler already spoke about him being inspired by the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, because a Latin writer or producer or director or whoever was the one who worked on that movie, now he's trying to say the whole situation is influenced by Latino people, and he don't understand why they don't have their representation. Let's talk about these tamales. The biggest misconception is that tamales is only a Mexican thing or Hispanic thing. Tamales is a huge, huge thing in the South. Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. I don't know about Florida, but tamales is and always has been a huge cuisine in the South, right? Let's really be clear about that. Having a scene where you saw a photo or a sign saying that we sell tamales don't have nothing to do with Mexico. Because guess what, Conquistador? Black Americans been eating tamales for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands even. Tamales are not a Mexican dish. Remember, you guys. Prior to the conquistadors and colonization, Mexico, North America, and Canada was one huge landmass. One. Just one. It wasn't Mexico they speaking Spanish over here, then the 50 states was up here doing their own thing, and then Canada was doing their own thing. Prior to colonization, it was one big landmass. That's why when a lot of y'all do y'all genealogy, you're going to see that you have family that's from Georgia who might have family by way of Mississippi, Texas, especially when you get into Mississippi, Texas. And if you go further, you can see a lot of Mexico, but not for what we know it today in there as well. But tamales isn't necessarily a Mexican cuisine. Black folk been eating tamales since the beginning. But he's trying to take that. First of all, you tried to minimize the movie by saying he just basically stole copywritten content from someone else when that's not the case. Yes, there are similarities. And I haven't done the research to see how far and deep this goes. This is just TikTok. Okay? But at the end of the day, it's just like for you to then use that and then try to say because that person was Latin that you should have credited that person and then have more Latin visualization in the movie. Why would we put a Latin person in Delta, Mississippi when they were not there? Number one. And then number two, who the hell are the Latin community where we got to add them to every single freaking thing we do? And this boils down to this black and brown community shit. This is why I told y'all, get rid of that black and brown bullshit. It never existed and it never will. There is no cohesion. I'm not going to say cohesion. There is no togetherness with Black Americans and no Hispanic groups nowhere. There's just not by and large. I'm not talking about your cousin or your friend. I'm saying by and large, collectively, there has never been a cohesion or never been a group situation, and there never will be. Never will be. Okay? So, and this is the entitlement that they have. Now you got them over here saying, well, why didn't we? You had tamales, but you didn't have the Mexicans. You know what? We should have went got a Mexican. We should have. The black ones. That's what we should have. We should have went got the black Mexicans and put them up there by the stove. Yeah. See, we need to go start digging into the crates of these Latin speaking or Latin countries and start going to look for them black folks y'all head round there. Let him finish. Because this really pissed me off and made me mad.
Come on, man. That's a bad look. I don't think this guy liked this movie at all. I think he might be a racist. Loving something does not excuse you turning a blind eye to its flaws. Acknowledging and discussing the flaws of something you love is healthy and leads to a better relationship. Hope you're into the video, everyone. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how the vampires in the movie Sinners don't make any fucking sense. Have a magical day, everyone. I love.
You know what else I found too? I found that, and this is kind of Black America's fault. We have been disconnected from our history and from our lineage and our ancestry. And by the grace of God, in 2025, we're just getting back to that, okay? We're just getting into who we are and what we have done and accomplished in the past. Thank God we are at a crossroads in life where us as a group, as a collective, we're starting to dig deep and figure out what really happened. And the reason I'm saying that is because these other groups have always been able to keep their folklore intact and keep their oral histories and traditions intact. And we just sitting there holding the bag like, so what do we do? What did we do? You see what I'm saying? And now we're starting to realize that in our stories were a lot of the things that are in their stories. And when you start peeling back the layers even deeper, you start realizing their story come from our story. So for him to get on here and say the vampires don't make no sense and this don't make no sense, do you understand that Black Americans in the South, especially Gullah Geechee, especially in New Orleans, Mississippi, we were heavily into hoodoo, heavily into spirituality, heavily into all of this stuff. You don't think we ever had no encounters with no vampires? Are you okay? Are you okay? You don't think we ever had any encounters into none of this stuff, even though this is our history and who we are and what we come from? Like, it's insane. Just because we heavily into the church now, don't mean at one point we wasn't. And that was the whole point or purpose of Annie. Annie was that representation of who and what we were. Mind you, this is the early 1900s. So you had your Smoke and Stack who didn't believe in it, but Stack, was it Smoke or Stack? Which one was she with? But it don't matter. He believed it enough to keep that damn mojo around his neck to keep him safe. You see what I'm saying? This is what we do. We've always done this. But I want to know to the Spaniards who went over to Mexico, Puerto Rico, Brazil. I'm talking about the Spaniards. I'm talking about the clear people from Spain, because that's what I'm talking about. What I want to know is, what was your tradition before you got there? Because even the traditions y'all have now come from those places. What was your tradition when you got to Mexico? Before you got to Mexico? Because them blacks in Mexico already had their own traditions. What was yours? What was your tradition when you got to Puerto Rico or Haiti or all these? Because them folks already had their own traditions and oral history. What was your Spaniard? Because see, y'all go down there and do like they all do. Go down there and take on the identity of the people and act like they don't exist. That's what this whole shit is about. In America, North America, South America, the Caribbean, yes, Jamaica, all these different places. These folks came over here and took your identity and wiped you off the block as if you never existed, even though you're right here. You're right here. They looking at you, telling you that your people never existed. That's what's happening in real time. I'm just so over the Latinos. Not all of them, but the ones like this. I'm just so over y'all. They did the same thing with Kendrick Lamar. Oh, why we not represented in West Coast music because we the ones made the low riders and all this. Nigga, stop the cap. Stop the mother plucking cap. You see what I'm saying? They always want to be a part of something, and it's so annoying. But Black America, get used to it. Everybody's going to want to stake claim in your story because they understand where the value is. They understand where the value is. We just got to get on board to understand where the value is. Okay? So you're going to get a lot of this coming out of the woodwork. This is another thing I want to clear up too. I cleared up the fact that the Asians were not the blacks' friends, and they still not to this day. I also want to clear up, I did not like the fact that Annie was played by a Nigerian. I got to say it. I got to say it. And I don't know if I don't care. Annie is a Nigerian woman, beautiful woman, mind you. But I will say this. I think that it was jacked up that they got a Nigerian woman to play somebody from Louisiana who's into hoodoo and all that stuff, when I'm pretty sure there are so many amazing actresses they could have got from Louisiana. Instead of having them on the set to conjure it up, they could have really just got one of them. But shout out to Annie. I think she's a beautiful girl. But I'm going to tell y'all now, this is a lot of our stories being told using other people. It don't matter now until it matters. It don't matter now until it matters. Until they completely write you out of the story as if you were never there. I'm just saying. Because I'm pretty sure there's somebody in Louisiana who's heavy into spirituality and hoodoo who would have bodied. And she did great. Listen, the lady who played Annie did an amazing job. This is not to take nothing from her. But I shouldn't feel like I shouldn't be able to say what I'm about to say. But I'm pretty sure there's somebody in Louisiana who's really into this stuff and who really knows the ins and outs, who could have done an amazing job and would have even gave us a better outlook on the story, because they would have the experience and or the history to even tell the story in the way in which it could have. I'm not saying it wasn't told great, because it was told amazingly. But what I'm saying is it could have added a little a little more to it than somebody cosplaying the role. You see what I'm saying? I had to add that part. But again, the lady who played Annie did an amazing job. She did amazing in Lovecraft Country. She's an amazing actress. She just is. I got to give her that. She's a great actress. I'm just saying, to tell our story, none of y'all never thought about why it's hard for them to use us to tell our story. Don't nobody ever look at that. Why whenever they're trying to tell us our story, they always got to use other people. That should be a red flag to a lot of y'all. So anyway, but other than that, like I said, she did great. To the Latinos, go lay down. Please go lay down. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all wasn't there, and we're not going to write y'all in history. Remember, they got wine crow going on, and they trying to make it seem like they suffered through Jim Crow, calling it wine crow and all that craziness. Go lay. To the Latinos that's online with this crap. Go lay. Please and thank you. Go lay. Carol Foster, thank you for the super chat. Says, girl, I love your content. I done left my office and sitting at my favorite bar having a steak taco. Ooh, must be nice. And Cosmo listening to you, girl. Well, girl, enjoy it for me, honey. Steak taco sounds good, honey. Ooh, I'll take me a shot of tequila right before my steak. Eat my steak, sip my little margarita, honey. Girl, yes, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Carol. Motivate Madness with Jeremiah. Hey, boo. Hey, handsome. He says, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hey, rent is due. So is my tithes and offerings to my voodoo boo. Thank you, Jeremiah. Love you, boo. Thank you so much. Beat it, see. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Voodoo, how do you feel about non-Black Americans playing Black Americans in centers? Oh, you asked me this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that I think it's disrespectful. I think that it's deceiving. I think that the intentions of that is not good. I think that the powers that be understand that that has a broader effect on us as a culture. Yes, there's no need for it. Thank you, Special K, because we have more than enough talented people. That's how I know it's some underhanded stuff. You see what I'm saying? I think that it's to minimize the effects that we get from these movies, and I think it's to also retell a story that we don't even realize we participating in. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all, actually. I'm tired of our greats being played by foreigners. I am. Shout out to the foreigners. Love y'all down to the ground. But you wouldn't like it if I came to your country and played your great foreign, or your great. You see what I'm saying? Like if I came to Africa and I want to be Shaka Zulu wife. The Africans in the Zulu tribe gonna be like, girl, if you don't get your ugly ass from around here, you ain't even Zulu. And I would have to respect that. I would have to respect that because it's the God's honest truth. I hate that they continue to use foreigners to play us. I hate it. I hate it. And I think it's disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you for asking me, but I had to be honest. I don't like it at all. Let me see. I got another super chat. Keisha Youngblood, thank you for the super chat. Says, it's off topic, but Vu, are you going to talk about the South Africans crashing out on Acorn and the Zulu parade? Girl, I did a whole live on that, honey. With shout out to legendary Chief Top Cats. We did a whole live. Yes, I talked about it. And to hell with the Zulu, because they got all their stuff from us in New Orleans. So you got to go check out that Educational Friday live. It was a couple of weeks ago with legendary Top Cats. He break it down how they basically got their whole style and culture from us, not the other way around. So girl, we ain't worried about them folks. They got a lot of fish to fry. They say Trump about to drop a bomb on them or something. I don't know. Allegedly. But yeah, thank you so much, Keisha. Christina Ramirez, thank you for the super chat. Says, I can't stand those Latinos mad about representation in the movie centers. The Latinos were somewhere picking fruit out on the West Coast. Facts. Yes, so the ones who were coming through to the West Coast and some Texas and stuff like that, but definitely wasn't in the Delta. Even to this day, Mississippi, especially the Delta, but Mississippi is predominantly Black. I know y'all don't know that, right? To this day, Mississippi is still predominantly Black. You would never think it, though. We've never been the minority in this land. We've always been the majority. We just didn't know it. Don't let that go over your head. Point Nexter, thank you for the super chat. I love centers. I spotted a Kenyan ancestor. A Kenyan ancestor of yours? Listen, the movie was amazing. I saw it twice. The movie was amazing. That's all I'll say. The movie was amazing. But thank you so much. Manda Panda, thank you for the super chat. Says, my father loves saying he's Black. He's Puerto Rican. It gets annoying after a while. I was raised by my Black side. Then I started doing my own research and was annoyed by what I discovered. And let me tell you something about the Puerto Ricans. Shout out to the Puerto Ricans, but I got to say this part. A lot of y'all been cosplaying under that Black umbrella because the people been telling y'all that y'all Black, but y'all not Black. See, we was misunderstood. When we talked about how the Puerto Ricans are Black, we were talking about the actual Black ones that's there, not the conquistadors. We talking about the ones y'all got hidden over there. We just don't know it. A lot of us think that just because you come from that area that you automatically Black. You're not. They got Black Puerto Ricans. They over there. They definitely over there. They just hide them. So yeah, they do that a lot. They do that a lot. And when you do your genealogy, boy, the stuff you run across. Do you hear me? Baby. Sharjay, thank you for the super chat. Says they gave us a religion to dim our supernatural power. Yes, none of our ancestors prayed through anyone. We have a direct connection to the creator. Facts, and more facts. I couldn't say it loud enough if I wanted to. Thank you so much for that, Sharday. Yes, religion was what I showed y'all the picture when they came over here with the crosses and the white Jesus. This is what they do. And that was to take us off our rocker. That's why they got black folks to tell me I had to leave the theater and play and plead the blood of Jesus. Weirdos. Olivia Dream, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, boo, a good amount of Latinos don't even care for black folks. Trust me. But now they want to be where we are. What the F? Because it's always been a using situation. It's always been a situation to use us, use what we got, you know what I'm saying, and get in what they can capitalize off. Not all. I'm talking about the ones who do that. Yeah. The Akani Collective. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I think if we did play us, it would stir up some real ish. We can touch each other ancestrally, and white no worry deportation, not sinners. I get what you're saying. I do believe that if we play our own characters in those situations, it would touch us. Because think about it. When Malcolm X played, when Denzel Washington played Malcolm X, I felt that shit. Like, I felt like I was watching Malcolm in real time. Like, the way it came across over the screen hit way different from anybody else. We can even go to What's Love Got to Do with It with Angela Bassett. It hit differently. Black people was really sitting here hollering, "Num yo holding yo," and really was like, that shit might work. Not because, and listen, this is during a time where we were like, oh no, that's witchcraft. But it hit so hard, no cap. Still to this day in 2025. Yes, it hit so hard that to this day in 2025, we still be out here hollering, "Num yo holding yo." It hit different. Double A said Will Smith and Ali. Think about the way you felt. Don't think about what you remember. Think about the way you felt, the goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this shit. Think about the way you felt when you watched these films, when you seen these FBA Black American people portray these ancestors, how it made you feel, how you felt when you left the theater. You see what I'm saying? They have to minimize that. That's why they get the foreigners to. I agree with this last comment. She's absolutely right. This is why they get the foreigners to play you, to block that energy. Yes, Jamie Foxx's Ray Charles is another one. It's to block that energy. We want them to see it, but we can't have them aligned with that energy. Yes, Frankie Lyman, Lorenz Tate, all of that. Think about it. Every time they show you a Harriet Tubman movie, it's a foreigner. Every time they show you a slave movie, it's a foreigner. Every time they show anything they show you, it's a foreigner. And shout out to the foreigners. This is a conversation I'm having amongst my people. Why do you think they do that? To block that energy. So the Akani Collective, thank you for bringing that up. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. That's why they don't mind Michael B. Jordan playing the lead role, because the lead roles really wasn't the Michael B. Jordan character Smoke and Stack, while they were the leading roles, we didn't get the most from them. We got the most from Sammy. We got the most from Annie. We got the most. They were the main characters, but still it seemed like we got more story out of everything else and everybody else. And those other people, a lot of those other people were foreigners. Now, I don't know who Delroy Linden is. That's his name, Delroy, the guy who played with the harmonica, the black guy. I've seen him on many, many movies. Is he Acorn? Somebody drop down in the comments. Is Delroy, what's his last name? Lindo, that's his name. Is he Acorn? Great actor, phenomenal actor. Okay, there you go. All of the powerful scenes came from everybody who wasn't Acorn. Block the energy. There's no connection there. We watching it, but the connection is very, very minimal. Very minimal. I knew when his name was Delroy Lindo. I knew he wasn't from here, but I wasn't sure. Okay? But neither here nor there. I do think that that's why they get the foreigners to play those roles, to kind of minimize the impact that it'll have on us. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't like that they get other people to play our roles. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's wildly disrespectful. And I think it's a slap in the face, because we have too many Black American actors and actresses that do phenomenal jobs at telling our own stories, and they refuse to do so. So yeah, with that being said, y'all, I love y'all down to the ground, you guys. Shout out to everybody in the building. 5 o'clock, I will be here discussing the Sinners movie and discussing Mound Bayou. That's where Smoke and Stack's daddy and Sammy's daddy, who are brothers, that's where they from. We're going to dig deep into the Delta, Mississippi, and discuss and talk about what was going on during that time and how everything was really rocking after doggone, Reconstruction and all that stuff. But shout out to everybody in the building, y'all. I love y'all down to the ground. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. I got to Joce y'all out because I got to go drop Saint off. I will catch y'all at 5 o'clock. If not, I'll catch y'all tomorrow at the Dollhouse at some point. Love y'all down to the ground. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go. It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat.
You know what I want?
Blaze up.
Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 wow. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your